ebetu asia mo so no pasa kwaye unyo fra 02447235 one I talk and kasa or dim for Samuel say yan can show say sound of penny be our jana a juma sam now a juma sam and queer jumanu unyabi so job promotion be all and you man we pay amount usipena bomari and sawne ayo dim for Samuel and some abekaso no and about you man no when you be na fa bomani man so fine and some nama says I would juma di I would dinner Jumanu Yana and I was out control and some war some na ABC Basafe ebi our to no and some near cancer promise and fail and no and just for no dim for some year and so I didn't come on our sovereign your man so now country what can I say oh man share I am pop one honor pay and I sounds about ya friend number no I is 6667117 or do for some year and just now when the Black Friday no I hear baba so and untinama elata say young kwaswani and Charles say one more Black Friday penny be out to just a Bronson or one more our Phillips our from Afe one more high our LG genome and Samsung num our Tamashi our one per product at Wontumi one channel society Yama 12 manufacturer warranty and a defect a service nino and some electromat and a demo and it's about conditioners over to a TV set inches outdoor would you freezers as a simple would you microwaves num and a blenders and a electromat and so a daramano peno wamuba brahma 9 ediamount sir obeso din come out via WhatsApp and a simple obesa freno namani 0552777905 electromat and penfono ebe Joshua said www.electromat.com.gh and come be akabiane so obeso si hunu ma piano wo so nwat me hunu ma so simple afei make am for a best brand publication limited and so anamana debiano make a choice way a books our so nya and some adama best say wo per quality books adama kwadana mene am sa dwen aye sharp no a book come rating either 5 star and I say A1 and unti o ma general tum say wo me the leading publishing company and some our Ghana books no dey o do best brand o mo the bo say bia kwadano e wo JHS subject ban say yeah near Ghana scientific a creative art afei religious and moral education abiem a social studies and I say career technology and computer English language and the akane nyina no mathematics e bi e wo ya combine a basics no 7 to 9 and a final kwadano and some starting school na say ye KG1 and 2 ubenya a color fun with right and afei numeracy and literacy e bi e ho and I say bia wo banom and so you be a room our basics and so ya was scientific dagbani and French and mathematics workbooks ni na kwadano and so be here be our brown room our near finance basics no na for best brain our 0507200200 best brain our pankono abed la Posada hotel and chuano ma panon sabekano and Genjimit and so era so ya juma na Genjimit branches adoso pa across Ghana ya to apitim the atianza say ebia wo face problem wonum say bia wo drink bi ana say bia wo mia bi now say fm simple bano mobile obasa ye tun was to kro up bi awase ama chese yaw ana wote untimi na na jo abaketo ano won so tofini anti ama kwadai am se kaka bananum dabia no wo complain na panta ma chese bia na fono ensom epeja hono hono odi akwara na ko Genjimit wo mo doctors wo your professionals american no aye dentist asem enso ana ye kan a chese mo di abafufidie ye djuma wa bratit white and nom so obeso show ne silver na se gold ni nyina no wo mo so behwe na afei wo mo ai ne kama so ade ama won kran a so be kwa atomic down and I say nungwa main lorry station ana kroma enso aya repajan she kwan na wo fa so area ko branch ma on send fa so building na bank I want from a show ana jenjimit our oya juma aya 0559139582 jenjimit eba joso
wo ye room na fe yenko high sense aso na nyame adoma Black Friday promo no enso e baso ntisha no so e ma me say starting date near 27th of November e kopim 29th of November na so ochna 27th and start no so ma me enso anuama ye de kodi bronye se TV na open as open air conditioner or the be chile with them ama onso aye kama blender si mai moya juma kitchen mo microwave no ni nyina no ye de bi abaya tetere bo no so nuama bia wo pe bia no ye say Black Friday brand so enso them from a 5-year manufacturer effect warranty ne die and so juma 3-day bonanza and fa ho jima na nyame nso bra na fe enuama nye kama yam branches ne bie Ghana ba bia asamo amunim se ne yeguso ayendie juma na mom new location no hacho ana fa fie nyama taheko ana ye new branches se ya bia ye dem die juma ntin crime for ne die se de na mo ya juma e wa Accra tudu hono yeah, that showrooms in a la pass and a face legon and the Akaka one cranny no to open Kumasi dear and some Kumasi city more Kumasi do and the post office Kumasi and after Tafuo and see a dear Juma yeah Juma more attack and after more and some our man Casimino Mobet me a corner after my copy and a Black Friday more and some let me a gym nami demand for doctor time eda so ya Jizemia, yare debe brenie na we and some anu asan so ade amame said ye one man na stroke so the not to form bears and viemian senie ontimi answer na doctor sebra what the mre to so ade ama sexual weakness why mre empem bema esobo na doctor so etimi abo doctor wadro our they say ade no the mre so to so Dr. Time that spoke you say my year 0244774282 now phone doctor and so much come Alaska ma dem I can bronye say wallpaper na open the design be our demo blankets in our baby ye can floor tiles see opebi and so much do more and a TV stand and a TV backlight ni no you be a one so much me abana what about the baby na for the akodi juma e wo fie mu office bia no also obetimi akoyusu na adum ye wa Mrs Plaza building num and ye wa ye di yenjuma jene boss FM building no edim and Misha Accra circle tiptoe lane inside pass be chairman K20 more edu omo juma 0554 from 878 na fe enuama ye kama Semens Vital ba Mr Again enye na Again de ni juma die danu ashepa Semens dre sha unya bia eno betimi aboa same kasa no mana no ntini no emusisu dompe ana emu ya wanya ase atike wase wo bai emu ensom atwetwe ni nyina no echese wo gina wo aboy wo tena ase awe wo drum na Semens Vital ba Mr capsules agan wunya bia betimi aboa no so unya ene Semensi unya capsules si na unya ene Mr na unya prekase preke na wo the texture madam ano be se wo be flow kama embia wo ko ene fichi bia kam mojayi meye ni nyina no ade se wadro ni asa still libido e ma won pam agudie watenka no enso mekosro 0240616061 to adre bia fred doctor na onchi okwa ba fa so abenu ye dre na free health screening and ye am na screening ye die em say wa wutie me awo problem pa no eye solar natural clinic mu na eye sa screening afem amount na the woman say from Azua Cobalt Junction and I hear di Jumadi no Shell filling station wa and I hear Tanasia ye di sa Jumadi no and China Washan so a day amame pa na the woman say from Azua Cobalt one a home junction also no a home no ben Shell filling station no ahyɛ so no vacation ye pa na daban ana obi bɛka se ye no on the 1st of December Monday ya ekopim on the 6th and Saturday in Chishano so ebo past 7 to 6 and as 7 a.m. ekopim number 6 no and ye betena sem and as ye tena se asori in Chishano so say enei utie me na bia ubisa say den na omu beye enwa dwuma kidney and a function test wo beye free at the amount blood pressure you be checking free and some na diama you be massage and some na ho diama prostate you be ho adwuma na diama and afi you show sugar level ni nyina ye nuama bia ye free consultation tisha no so ama me so solar come free out screening ni although ebe gym 0245616028 na afi wa free empanifo na do and some na gym na ye rem e Pasco herbal capsules na ya no e liver no e buy Pasco de Dre ba ye adwuma no mpanimfo pa mo eboamo munya bia beboa pa na afi onsusa na manuane ananse ye tinintine ya na amya pomoden e wo fom ye tia Pasco herbal capsules no ye nyeba eno so bolivar no ban emanuama ye kama enti so ya de honya de obebo Pasco herbal capsules no beboa wo ye obafefu no makoda no fo akrade ni nse dumienu e kwadre onka ho tia no ahye no so bia to dro e wo man mu ba bia wodu wo so pe Pasco obenya bia to na mu ya frafra obefrɛ no number is so 0557453579 na wadi enkomo na do pay ABA herbal clinic na me de wo echo ABA suffer rasta nie na wasem country so wani etenesi so ana se glaucoma na wadwen ho ade ye shrom na de to akinkan enso de mani na no doctor sebra wo ye obi a wo da sonko kra wo eni ade mu wo de herbal no ana dini juma wono wonfa ene zobo ana ko amode mpane bi ne sekam ze wo mu ye wani operation di bibi wo so da bi draw and what eye juma tisha no soma me eye stroke and as a prostate kidney problem and as a bema wa ye mrem e wo mpem and afi hypertension say ade bi di say ha wadwen age oni pedua abo so untimi so nkwa juma ba bia be ko bia no so eye na problem aba bi ko ya de nti wo do wani Kumasi kwada so junase main market no echi wona doctor enso echi wa wo di ni juma mo doman nkro ya be beneza ene preschool ho also ya bo ejuma oba 0541565199 na one ABA empany funding come Lawson Beverages Limited Lawson delay man beaters tieniye them man oba delay mpaman ka be boa wo utimi back ho man no pay make say wayi e de ato anwumre be kone anoa e de esi we obedi awie o so daddy wo wie dia be wie anwumre dia ne yankoya ni mu wo twetwe ho na basa game omulusu 3 eno ana waka ho asama kan wo beje sotoro mpem yesre pa se ne munya nuama ye na manfa resource na ntwitwa mu wo mpem heza de oba ne de ono woni match no hwie yesre pa so ye wasediem e wo mpem se bema eno ana eboa wo ntira no asa no so delay man capsules eno so ano odin pa unya bi wo ba unya bi na anoma menses no esizi so come out date ni eba ama afi moja no so flow dem out 0248619999 na afi wadi enkomo ewo ye kan say loss na so na afi natural company limited wo mo de proslava ba o prostate de bra eno anu engine woni pedwe mo say bemen say na prostate and one ba sama ene wudi bunsu ani ahye pipe no droben namu a na ba untimi mfanya de so ye enu ntina me kanfo proslava ma say no ana ma odunso na ebikam odunso a emeye eso kokokoko obetimi atosin say ba me enu ma ya kama no ana me kan wasam the amana true man no so dwumadie enie a true man ye weak correction premature ejaculation uni atinka so be empama gudie wo atinka so ya na besene eno so ya na ha dwen o eno nti ana make true man no asamachiro Congo ointment edin agine din o Congo eno nti ana ye fe no Congo yi na de wo me say o sra no nipadua ni oba ma o skinny me o say come on me die we si ayi on say dey sitie no oba say o ma die e chen me die enti sa no so ensan bi na gu ani anasem bi a den na e koso ni nyina say o pe Congo ointment no ba kra na dai pa na rush say gu na afa bi sra no 0249017101 na afi wadi nkomo Kojak farmer enie na Kojak no matwa ni nyina ati ase sem ene said that no na ya bro body train bidie na ya de shares na fe utwi wo se be pai fita eno anoma no modern anomo de aba abefudie mu enti se na bidie yusu ana e machine ahoden no eno no mo de ya dre Kojak sako no enti wo be pa bi na fe wa yusu e be boa wo ye pankoda no mo fa bi ntwi mo se mpani enso echefa e wo Kojak pro code uti eya wo ya code bi che wa dre enso nanie wo se wo ana fe huni mu so ni adini nyina wo de onum bia obon say start air adwuma 0244559597 na fe wadi nkoma ye ram ewa amono ne power specialist about hospital ya ma me doctor akosu adua ya ni hepatitis ade liver also fibroid di wasebra kidney stones wo ye ho adwuma ade amadua heba malamis malaria dro cough care ba me shaw bowa eno be fro ana afe adua heba tonic no onum atoa wadro eniemu amu akra no we no manko ba bia ya won kran ko benya ACP road kwano so a power hospital bus stop and doctor etna say na afe kuma se fe ya say bosumtwi road ewa adua ya junction mu amu water krade ase o record ewa anaji extate 0244544422 na oni ya mame doctor akosu adua ya edi enkomo ope JC aye kama beze JC a ereni Chelsea JC na no an obi ehye because efia abano enu na yedi enti de woso Chelsea enti o Chelsea ni a entempa jode Barca fons mo de ebim ewo ho Madrid na mo bo mo de ewo ho team BAB JC 0547047771 0203682641 na wajo quality replica JC Fancy.
Okay, well, Mate Medasina, still live on TV, you so, and I feel live on Facebook. Wontumi TV live, couple means who be more. But all the same, I'm say, Mimi page ni active into so call Fancy Maria Hona. I was so.
Mimi Waha.
Oh, okay.
Mimi Waha, auntie.
Mama,
check your head now.
Now, okay.
I was checking food.
I need me how
we check another phone. So
okay, I'm just
we know so. Okay.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
And you're Ryan. You're so auntie. Star 262 hash ABC game no letters me sign and so and buy we no FDS I know ana no pay line when the show tiano ahye so ediama no ana pie and ano pese ti say we choose any of these letters ano pay no when you scar ya no ahye so edi amame ana fe BM and so and say buy question of the day no so question of the day no where Amuzupi herbal mesha proudly are brought to you by Amuzupi sponsored or say Timene Dinkunim and Anna Tree Arsenal and a Bamunchin Wayne and a Winnie and Anna Tree Cabo.
Yes, Dom and Pedro was by Munchin all the way buying for Anna Efa win and de Yasabama Coma in Fios Arsenal for a winning game no Anna for Calvin as Arsenal the Gunners about 2-2 and enumerate a Dubois said buying of course we are Bavarians and no a messenger what they are Quesicata is your boy rich boy Quesicata watching the show live from Pancrono Quesi and Fanny dear Ama Trapkins the Gunners a tour and so now and Baka Bell say hi fancy this game dear won't be easy game but I'm hoping a win for Arsenal. I know a message what dear Bakin Pilato I was buying all the way and Pilato from Akim Awisa and what did the message but Nanaya texting say Bayern go win Bayern Bessene and Nanaya also dear Nanaya Casti say Bayern go take it Fala hashtag Wontumi Sports Buffet and what from dear David Kwaku. Was a Bayern 2. Obesha 2-1 at Arsenal. Incredible rich lord the German always 4-1 Anna and a Bavarian G Adam Emma Womokens Ford said Bayern 2 Arsenal 1 and no a messenger what and some day Abba and they are doing some Adebo Giddy Brown Jr. say Bayern will silence Arsenal tonight as Omeka Womano and some day Atumano a messenger what day Abena day when so a vigilant OJ was say Arsenal 3 Bayern 0 and what day Amenano pay Bell Anpon was a fancy Bayern would destroy Arsenal. Yarasipa Anthony Amwako was a drawn game about pie 2-2 Nezo Bia and some Ebeshem Yenu ho way a Kwame Coutinho. I was a Bayern Munchen and a Alpha win and then and real gamer a basso fancy.
Wow, me that say still live on Wontumi TV, live on Facebook, ball Wontumi TV and live view one in caps and so a day I mean now Storms say say Brian go with someone to tell live from in young minim say many dini dia Storms in what they are check me a fair fancy or say they were we see GFP I really had the check phone so they by name say no pe when you scapa
training na boy
I'm saying say mu ba kwa na anti Wanyeska no one no Warner Emil Smith and so say Bamunchin over Arsenal one no message any na fena Jane Marco what Brimpon says Bamunchin all the way from what be so guasia and so buy that GH says Bamunchin all the way that say both teams to lose inside Gomoa one or then so at the buy Arsenal will do it simple like Chelsea did it to Barcelona way Kojo de Frashino and Kojo at then so at the Bernano pay when so I say it go reach everybody me I talk finish we never walk alone and so they have a Bamunchin is winning bring the Arsenal team down okay lollipop and on so a day message you know and so a jaba ya kwama no ne anu na mom mamemfa aye battle course e man no Man City anya Pep Guardiola na akwa nhwe ne mu akwa 10 changes Obo Champions League match ofie
Guardiola
man respect Leverkusen yeah
Mama respect Liverpool. It's good. So my
pa next time. And also my almost saying one top 8. Wontumi Bob J. The PH now. This is inside. Now Betway say Betway rewards any Koswa Nebon Sports Koswana Betway Casino. I will bring up points. Convert points no. Eddie Ayeska na Florida check. Ayo how far www.betway.com.gh regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Couple young first code no 32 O's BW23 F62 BF5 also need them 32 no 32 good BW23 F63 ED2 and here 11 O's BW23 BW23 F63 367 and here 6 O's
good
okay and BW23 F63 910 I know
good
I have 5 O's
and a dear
Betway Quambia so bring about and Ponchana Yamantano yes we in Swanya January and Koran school fees telling in account
and easy how
yeah see your crown on Yaba
good
now Bassa for Baswana
Omo but Omate
Omunti sure ale
Omo so bad
so ticket is nika
do many have it Omu Busupa but so much Robi no niase
and then we also be able to make a post. I'm so I know Joe X and so or see you think around Masawenye, you know, I'm so why but or the Newton boy, man.
Rao,
No, somewhere standing in the next.
Oh, yeah, your boy, Jumapa, Rao, dear, Unibe. I'm going to be also started. I will be a Juman out in China or Canwas and Busafu, or young Pamlis will be a Juman. Kakra would ya to a chinty, a row dollars or Jenny week, and Mononeza. Menyesa, menye ni fabonesa.
You can't see him from Grand Porter. Was it?
What
would you call fat Porter picture on the wife and in the man? Will be a no positive offense into the wife of Shakama Kame. Overseer Saki coach and I didn't know football. Whoa, you're coming on him, bro. Good. Whoa, you're coming on here about live on Wontumi TV, digital satellite, and I feel live on Wontumi TV live. Now, okay, so no officer Edumel, I will talk.
Yeah, Mizo to what about the
main?
I was what to
Bastard, I'm watchers, men to crowd to
Kaba. Is the officer no Kade? And
it's also 20 animal image.
And it's also more.
Officer Edumel, I will look at Takwa prisons.
Takwa for
also feed the image bear 150.
And there's all do 2
50 Ghana.
Yeah, 2 crane.
Also,
said, oh, yeah, by
next time on Tonchi.
I do.
You come on the shower. I won't take Mompamo pressures and free machine. Now, won't pay baby. Pressures, no, yeah, and I take that. You come forward.
Angwangwa Juma no you Yami wohoda se uji dudia obeya Juma Ansachre no you Yami wohoda se uji dudia obeya Juma Ye bompaye Shamachi Shra Yehuwa Ilahenu Yehuwa Ekat We ahata et Yehuwa Elohika bika Luvika, Uvika Naveshika, Uvika Miyodika, Tode Yasak. In English, in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. I shall not come on by the Capo. I said, I come with chairman. I feel not chairman. Yes. Got Tama Tabu Casamun, some messages and a Benino Biase. Hey, oh, chairman, ya dear pass, watch me assemble. I just quite be coming. Match day 5, our brother. Ebi ekrama chasa matchesa kan nyina abasono eno nkomo ne ababete na afia unsari no ensom abesi akwa eno ade ne nyina sa wonya time ensom amonitana no pay ntwumadi a ye fa sa Wontumi sports by the morning no ensom by right from game boss so branches and ro akoba sa ra honum direct caribbean ensom aye juve akwa we womus aye chasa comeback sani ade ema chasa ma so tum no womus afa win eno beba wo kwa we womus akodra unsam nyina no yabasa the latest awachire and some adia banam shadow akama me nam sawoto a awasa no so abaso sansam no kasai no yawa early kick off and some awana dienemo na wodru aya Denmark ho ana FC Copenhagen aya club a wo some ade Kairat Almaty game no enom abaso aya matcha aya 5:45 Ghana time ana sa game no and some abakoso ebiem no and some aya perforce aya saida wo so aya matcha wasa no and some abaso no woman bobo kwa fa some Monaco ana babo weno and some aye Cyprus aho ana chese game eba so referee na ye fa so Ivan Grozelia kono and some abakwa kwedi sa game and some abaso and enyume na fe your Arsenal our Emirates so woman some ana bamuchin and eba game and some abakwa so referee no and some aye Italian ye fa no Marco Guida ono na jamensa kan say woman some ana sa match adamano ana fa leti ko bobo ku no woman some abatena fi awa bro woman some ana Intermilan ababo ananwumre ninyina na 8 o'clock asa game no woman some ade appointment ma referee na woman some aye France ni ye frano François Letezier ono ana jamensa kan sa nwumre woman some awani kan sa Metropolitano asa game no woman some abakwakoti ye wa Frankfurt awo fi abo ade atia Atalanta Liverpool aye team woman some ade PSV Eindhoven ababo woko aye Anfield aho ana sa match aba so referee no aye Alejandro Jose Hernandez ano ensom aye obi of free Spain ana Chelsea Liverpool game no wano som abaten anana dwi ana fe Tottenham Hotspur ensom akwa to Paris Saint-Germain womo so ball ade etia PSG wɔn team ɛwɔ Chelsea Park de France and anwumre no wɔn som ade officiating announcer wɔn de match ade ama referee na yɛfa no Sir Felix Zweyer ɔno nsom ayɛ from Germany and ɛkɔkɔdi sa game and nsom ababa so ansana Club Brugge abɛkɔ to Sporting CP Ajax no nsom ayɛ matches awodo and na anwumre na fa na dwi and nsom abɛkɔ so UEFA wɔn som akala na no so yɛka ya yɛbɛsi ahwɛ ɛna matches sɛ yɛbɛsi akɔ ne nyinaa no Sherlock mame ɛyɛ PSG wɔn nya confirm almost squad sense me no kasa coach na yɛfa no Sir Luis Enrique Edi Kamba yɛ ɛyɛ pre-match and yɛde nsom ade nsɛm nsom ade atudana no pɛya no wɔn som ade wɔn squad na aba na news wɔn ade sɛ player yɛfa no Ousmane Dembele wɔn ɛyɛ obi a making a return nsom ade aba ɛyɛ Paris Saint-Germain wɔn squad no ɛwɔ abra na dwe no wɔn som ade tɔdana team no nsom ade bɛbɔ na kyɛsɛ ne yɛ sɛdeɛ wɔn som game abɛkɔ so nti wohwɛ ɛyɛ PSG wɔn squad no mu a na kyɛsɛ mmerante bi resa ɛyɛ Lucas Barado nom ɛwɔm wɔbɛnya Nuno Mendes afei wɔfa Bradley Bacola ne ɛyɛ Lucas Chevalier wɔbɛnya Warenza Emery ne Kricha Kvaratskhelia Ilya Zabani wɔn nso ɛsɛfɛ ɛyɛ suspension wɔwie wɔn nso ɔde kamba kaba ana afei captain no nso ɛyɛ Marquinhos ɔno nso ɛwɔ squad no mu ebiem ɛyɛ Fabian Ruiz afei wɔbɛnya Gonzalo Ramos ɛde player yɛfa no sɛ Dembele mabɔ ne din Vitinha aba Mbaye nom ɛne kyɛsɛ William Patronom ɛne Rika Lucas Hernandez afei ɛyɛ Majuru ɛne João Neves ɔsɛm awɔ saa squad no mu a yɛde ɛyɛ update ɛne yɛde ɛnsɛm ɛde ɛma no agyama sɛ ka no sɛ wɔaborɔ mo de player ɛfa no sɛ Ousmane Dembele ɛde awuram ɛnsɛm awɔ saa squad ɛna wɔn rehyia ɛyɛ Tottenham Hotspur no nyinaa akyi no wɔn riske ɛyɛ Dembele mɛte sɛ ɛnyɛ likely sɛ bia nadwe no wɔn nso ɛbɛma player no ɛtumi astarte mpo sɛ Dembele kura starte a wɔn full 90 minutes ana sɛ kɔba sɛ bia wɔn starte so Dembele ɛnso ɛbɛfiri bench ana abam ɛnɛ no wɔn nso ɛda so manage sɛdeɛ Dembele nso injury situation no ɛno nso ɛbɛsi akɔ ɛwɔ abɛn no pɛn no yɛde update no deɛ aka no nyinaa no ɛnso ɛma Liverpool team no yɛde sɛ Liverpool fo no nso ɛhyehyɛ nneɛma sɛ deɛ ɛbɛyɛ a wɔn nso ɛbɛtumi afa wɔn ntoma pa ɛnso ɛdeɛ fɛ sɛ wɔbɔ bɛyɛ sɛ 11 matches atoɔ so na bia meyɛnsa pɛ ana wowi ne adi aka no nyinaa no ɛnso ɛyɛ nkukua na ɛha adwen paa na Liverpool ɛyɛ team anadwoi ɛwɔ sɛ Anfield adeɛ PSG Eindhoven kwan bia so ɛwɔ sɛ ɔmo nso ɛtumi si fam na wonim sɛ ɛyɛ match ɛbia on paper wɔbɛka sɛ ɛnyɛ Eindhoven wɔmafɛ ɛne Liverpool wɔn team no but deɛ mensa nka no nyinaa no sɛ yɛbɛnya a section of Liverpool ɔmo supporters a wɔmo nso afu sɛ ɛne kwan sɛ anadwoi manager ne ma player yɛfa no sɛ Mohamed Salah ɛstarte ɛne wɔkyi Cody Gakpo wɔmo sɛm ɛne kwan so ɔno nso ɛstarte wɔmo Akitike nom na afei wɔmfa ɛbia kyɛ sɛ Isaac nom ɛne Florian Wirtz nom ɛnyɛ adwuma ɛnɛ because the moment a wɔbɛka sɛ wɔbɛstarte ɛyɛ Mohamed Salah bɛsa ma akɔtɛ no a yɛfa no sɛ Cody Gakpo ɔmɔbɔ no na ɛsɛm sɛ ɛyɛ SOS bra the same old story ɛno ana adeɛ no ɛnsom ɛbɛsi akɔntena wɔn kɔ no sɛ ɛyɛ mbɛnkyɛ ɛyɛ Salah ɛne Gakpo ɛwɔ aborɔ ne wɔn nso akɔ saa match no mu na manager no deɛ ne nsɛm deɛ ɔka pipa na Liverpool current situation yi ɛm sɛ ɛyɛ club bi aba na nka pressure abam nka bi kora nka manager no wɔn asake no coach ɛne ebisa no sɛ na Liverpool current ɛyɛ situation sɛn ɛna ɔno nso ɛbɛsi describe nneɛma no wɔ so ɔno ɔgyidie pa sɛ sɛdeɛ ne nneɛma si kwan no deɛ yɛbɛso ɔka no nyinaa no sɛ wɔn paa wɔn nso daeɛ da sɛbi abirɛ bi bɛduru ama ɔde bɛtare na wai wɔde bɛsi hɔ na kyɛ sɛ aka gu asa wɔde fam hɔ a na ate wɔn nso daeɛ da batɛnɛ adeɛ baako ne da nso ɔno sɛ saa difficult period a wɔn nam yi nyinaa no wɔsɛ baabi ɔnam mu ɛwɔ Liverpool ɛno ɛyɛ the right club na kyɛ sɛ ɔbɛso ɔkyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ baabi yɛ nkeapam no na sɛ wɔde afa yie paa because Liverpool ne yɛ adeɛ sɛ ɔmo support wɔn mpamo managers basabasa nti ɔgyiri yie pa sɛ difficult period no ɛm sɛ ɛyɛ the right club mu ɛna wɔnya saa de no wɔ abrɔ ne nyinaa akyi no wɔn wura no mu sɛ ɛnkyɛ kora nneɛma bɛsesa no afei wɔn nso afa no ntoma pa ɛde afra yɛntie coach no a yɛfa no Anna Slot
How I would describe that as ridiculous almost. Something I didn't expect to be in. Not at any club I was ever going to work at, let alone if you play at Liverpool. If you not play, I wish I played. If you manage Liverpool. So that is unbelievable. I've said many times over here, you cannot find, if you even can find an excuse, you will never find enough excuses to make it that you perform like this. So that's unexpected for the club, for me, for everyone. And but I'm also working at a club. If there's ever a club face this, maybe this is the best club to face it, because the harder it gets, a club like this, the more we are together, the more we are trying to achieve the things that Liverpool usually achieves. How I would describe it?
You say Kakuya General Penina Casanum our brow tessa one wanted to just say the header and your mayano the morning no cabum air bakuba before Frank comes ya you bako and some adama yen shifty and Giana young call a Madrid and Sonny Bobokua your phone is Olympiacos game a so and some our Greece Athens and then you may not Shadrach Medica moment at Madrid a moment a tuna Wabu drew a fair hotel now Pania Kawan Samna I'm saying showing on some more because sir we a player now you don't crocodile a Marriott a Alphins a hotel na additional okupupu toa na sir on some that class over sia can no because baby omodo boys wo kwada na born and kwadano woman some asha body man club no at moment ten kwadano on board at some room I know and some kwana trino woman game ever so on some coach you run Sabi Alonso so pressure amount our manager no so many and somebody some pinana ebapa na Jamaican kan nyina no safai mami hotel no ya wa sere no besia kwa enom aye Athens Marriott Hotel our Greece awon ye to the wa share sere na Joe M Sanioma City na ya do ba down what them 2:1 and two no so nya say be a double bed na eni premier no da so da bi aye double bed a chese simienu a chese ankoda no wo enjoy power bia dane dia so environment aye serene any ade baby amobetena didin komo kaka no numbi chese no anya bia call kan ya ade nyina no wo so and fine enso adema wunya so find their dama dia chena fe wo dia kobobo so ade ma club na ye fa no Madrid chese no nyina no enso aye update e banano pay no ye de ema ye tefona player ye fa no Den Hansen answer boy no e no metesa omobeso mo chese wonom Adam see game against Olympiacos one game against Girona and Bokano say doubtful omo game about our San Mames and you nyame ya duma next week and a game no enom abekoso na chese Madrid abekwa to be bawo matcha report am say kan support no and some doubt our San match no na coach ye for Xabi Alonso anadwi wo be ani bekon said the manager be sia meki the first 11 meter say aye strong squad and a coach no and some abeso the ball now report to me yan say Trent Alexander-Arnold ayobiana wonom ababa right back and some our San match no essence Alonso entimi fanioma and some ankodia grobium today sa koma sabia Arnold the ball and some right back follow Mendiana sa kona for Federico Valverde onum ababa midfield okay senwa mekanu sempi atwa wonu do fu sankabia oji Tony Cruz adio but unu also baso chasa masa wonya Tony Cruz ana wondro no level cra but the minya no nyina no se Valverde and some other start to match way and some our middle adama Los Blancos achasania gamer and some other koso na mekaisa and centrally ba ko bibusa Xabi Alonso say coach okay emfonyini where I'm the first timer now ball or just a former team body tia Olympiacos and ya dinner on him Madrid every need game and some our Greece and Montesoda for about 9 attempts and some for about 9 years in here Momo we need game our home na and you be on your way and also so say Madrid winning game da ewo Greece kwana stone no was say there is always a first time ya wa bread kan edema bibi ana chese ye den a ebro no be so ama chese Madrid for no ensom atimi anya reach either say ebe ya na dru kwan bia so no wo mo som no betimi abreak sad na eno edawo ewa Alonso say we be fa Madrid adwuma no na wo hi obi say ni pa be catch no say Madrid adwuma no ye very demanding oya we say ya adwuma edin pa na onye the first coach awaba Madrid ama situation bi ati say ebi ato no ya benya managers great omo ba wo mo ko Jose Baidu baby we face problems Ancelotti nom am face problems Zidane wo mo nyina face problems na so Korea sia no na wo bi ansom ani age na aye dan a wo be find solutions enso ade amatem no na de all kan nyina so say na hwe baby a Madrid ada awala liga no so na baby a Madrid ada awo Champions League no mo wo kan nyina so ade bomu a wo enjoy pa bibi no no Manchester bia neoma atia mo kan hu ade say ya La Liga Madrid ade aba from na so ya ka say wo mo no mo di ka table no so eno wachi e ba no Champions League so a wo mo daye eno mo sha wo mo say fro ade aba soro ade abiam ama sena me kan na no pay no me say Florentino Perez mete say yeso akacho Xabi Alonso say wo gidie e woni mu na wote ase say aye da period a ye fa no say adaptation aye da no e be ba afre na manager na ba oba enche enti say bi a squad no e wo so hu we suban kakra no on we ni yobi kakra e bi a we uye ni say aye uye ni say enya ene adesani ma nyina no am sam amoba so mo che so pani no aja to musa enani nyina no aye adaptation ma coach na ye fa no say Alonso nti sa aye message e wa draft asenra e be to dwaso wonim na wonim na bi ene oluzu game adam Olympiacos a wo mo so betimi asake no no ene update free mu enso ade banana pay no enso awo show no so Arsenal wo mo game e ba so no so aye big game na masa sa team ye no ready na wa ba mistake committee ahye wa ma ha bibi ba yo ate was wa na tell us because Arsenal our form and a Bavarians and some our form enra wo mo tro na ba so no wonim sa Victor Gyökeres and Kai Havertz o man timi antro na manager na be cast also omo recovery ekwa kama pa na wo mo kwa no man say wo mo sama boys no akwa wo twa scan ebiem wo mo twa scan ebiem an ye be wo say bia bia weekend ben ana Gyökeres and Kai Havertz and some be available at the amada Gunners omo team no in fact do mo cross why ni say wo mo ball a game buying close to us and crowd here na di kaba be to gada but the minya nyina no say Gabriel Jesus no any other players aka no wo mo na be testy aye said here wo mo game buying close doors and enso be sia committee say nyame ya ma yo chena e wo omo training center ana just Arsenal wo mo Spanish United behind aye close doors game no and also betimi abaswa ya the update tabana manager fan say Arteta and you be say coach and say wo bomb and you ba mu chanya bia no sen ana game no osi hu no ana o se ban for o se omomadoma no was ropa na level of consistency aye 1 ana for 2 aye ba mu chin omo results ana 3 and some aye performances ba mu chin abrabia no wo mo som adana de chesa wo yo biom ni mbo no bonomom we see opportunity ama Arsenal so betimi a kire what omo ye capable of ade omo so betimi a no so betimi a kire kan nyina de pomwa on Bamunchin game aso enana dwe no ye betie ensema coach na ye fa no say Mikel Arteta and some other man say for proud to gamer enyumrei eba so yentia Mikel.
This is the kind of game in the competition that we want to face, and we've been very consistent in both competition, as you mentioned. They've been as well, and it's a great test for us to see where we are. Well, every opponent brings different challenges. Obviously, they are in a great moment. I mean, the level of consistency they show in results, performances, in every make that they have, it's very, very impressive. We know that, but as well, that's a massive opportunity as well for us to show what we are capable of. For sure, and this is the kind of game in the competition.
Just say win so a opportunity. Edema Arsenal, ewa brano betimi achira matches we say enyina so awonioma Arsenal bobokuno. Woman so betimi aye ewa brano brano aye kakre free omaso ade banan opposite number aye coach na fansa Vincent Company na tanso nie. One dey start free baby ya on onsa one Mikel Arteta aye adwuma ewa Man City because that time Arteta beka prep eba krum staff ono na chesa Company eda support and some the Sky Blues of Man City no and all bona baso ade free sample class that time no say be a prep and some pageantry what J Eddie free Mikel Arteta ho woman no report on daily basis and man coach you find some prep na Arteta what can on the feedback no and some content juma on ma juma pa and was say no kwanya me anim nie do beso kan nyina no sa Arteta ebefa Arsenal bra nipa de ota okwado no in America o wa ye juma ma chese na Arsenal team no woman some abedro level chese we yourself fa na nyina no baby abekobi obi so bo Arsenal and some tintono de impact our manager ye from Arteta enya our the Gunners aso no ehun komo ana obeso odie yentie owura fa no Vincent Company
to kind of see that. I have to say I'm really impressed by this Arsenal team. I think operationally, if you look at sort of how they are set up in every phase, and for us coaches there's one thing which is of course winning trophies, but then there's another thing, you just look at how a team is being coached, and if you look at how they are set up in every phase, they are the benchmark for many things. You know, when they defend the box, there's not many teams in the world who do better than them. When they take set pieces, throw-ins, defend set pieces, defend throw-ins, when they take kicks, defend kickoffs, there's not many teams who are set up better. And they're a team, of course, with players who can also create. So it's a very strong outfit. They've been together for 6 years. In terms of Mikel being here, and you can see that. But I love every bit of the challenge because, you know, we come in a really good phase as well, and I think both teams have done what they needed to do to this point to kind of see the light. You know, the team that wins this game makes a big step towards, you know, being qualified for the next round through the direct qualification with the first 8 places. I have to say,
some Bavarians of Bamunchin, one coach. I find Vincent Company, and I'll just say, Yadena excepts Emma Nano Pay Line, Vela Brian Jumedia. You find Wontumi Sports Buffet, and Nano Pay no, Yaraso Aristorus, and Yakanino, and some like Emma Namami, Fanasa, Samo Nasri, okay, Nasri, Wapopo, and Yama Arsenal, and the Manson, Nomnia, and Sir Nipaba, Quaya, Kana, some Nano, and some Ayakadana Fanasa. Mason Greenwood, Bobo Fanasa, Olympic Masona, Ukrainian Yanim Akwadano, born in the MC at the one onset time or sorrow man, you know. No more not taking us what the next I am from Percy because suddenly Nifa Eka, Nibankum Eka, Udi or double ball, penalty, or to me Bankum Apple, what to me at the Nifanso Power Bakwadano, born in the Yadamano Panemum, and Yama Bakum be a C between one Casa and then a girlfriend and Tamni at Dema Koya, a buy. Yamane bano mo boni atifie enya opportunity be se call ye tafe ba masa last season eh this season akwatano and also botuma pa na seme na say ha say wobano krana domestically one sort no say obano de acheno no sane boya san wo dia any wo attention we hwan aba wo san han ana bema wo boma ana woman peter ana chese dendena wo yo obano krana no watene ja ho no wobano so wajamu amaka ena wo mo na so twiso na wo ha no say wo se ba bia dru I said ya akoda no bone echare na fe ye dine tum ema akoda no so bob because bone de obopa ba bia dru no say ye besa kire akoda we odo eno eya dia semen na so I don't want some no and some adebana no pay ya re update ba on say juve won team no na ye boma ba so na akoda na ye fa no Canan shoulders enra manager na start no wo fi bench and a buy yet we be man of the match I want show akabenya moment na omo present a man of the match I want tadiama ya akoda na fa no say Canan shoulders amamia wonu ne ahano wo bi ofi bench ba no still be man of the match na ball pa and was before the game no one him so start because omo one more ya bobo e wojuva just say be a coach no be so bibie but on every day we be start ya kwada we and was no one him so start but on the a coach and I taking a decision we ba mu so ba dey also timi yampa abono amana baba bomo de amatim no and mo busa say ne timo no samo be bo a yeah, coach and Anchram Sabia Ober started, and I sound started on Sedabio a little earlier, and some one Sabia Bono, and Yadia Sabia Ober starting Tonodia, Nidiana said Obama, Joshua to me, and no, and some Adia Bonnie team, our Brano Pano, and some update about Brontia, your fellow Karim Ademi, what also shall go Emma Dortmund and Ra, Nademi to say. Penalty no kraba kuna bana me beka say Fabio Silva botto twene no nanko na kwakobo bat na omo be say Fabio Silva enso abono wo hye because o sha nanka be bo amane confidence level na peja because o buy emse mu ode emane pa ne man shadam fai ema Fabio Silva no ene manager penalty man nya sadia nanka grace about 2 goals won wo hye go ntim kware penalty no so nanko no so hye 2 ene ba say Fabio Silva be hia confidence wo mo de man emane kobo Sabono and some Sanora, your father said Putashi Michael, okay, no, what's it? Ebia now knew and one or our Stamford Bridge was a bra and one Joe our Stamford Bridge atmosphere no wasn't a incredible dead day and Chesam now so maybe I just Chelsea supporters and here say one some other supported Chelsea pa now I do back some and say we'll calculate the last 8 matches at Barcelona Apple and some our Champions League Grimwa and Muma Kumako 5 Arabia one more consider at least 3 goals. Next, the last 8 Champions League, 5 out of the 8. Ebianom, 3 goals at least. Omanya kwade 3 day. Wamusum etimiche na onse Lamine Yamal enwa goalkeeper Robert Sanchez akwa say. Kukureya Lamine Yamal share bottom on one chrome ni and all person chesa and wunu pocket Lamine Yamal chesa kwanano wonya no hutwa brakra na shedo akama bouncer omu rating enra and Lamine Yamal na best player our bouncer omu team ni mo womu makanyina anka wo womu nyina so oranges ankwa wo Lamine Yamal Lamine kwanem sa wonu enya ne kan sa 7.7 womu makanyina sa dadanwa achira sokoko aswanka emfimfia aswanka achese enimu nso aswanka enwa Lamine aya djuma dema basa timno nemom omeso mo chese wanya boafo na baby ya ma coach na ye for say flick ensom abufu ya pa no ensom adisa 1 na ni timno ela ken ye kan say ferocity na say be aggressiveness and what danger say and ye den katashibia no say komodiwa match ni no o man said that mabia ya toy gun am bronya drew wom ti dam kon ase e babo ase mo bo ani brane chese de Chelsea e ba match ni mu ani ahoden na wom ntimi match Chelsea aggressiveness and Chelsea wom some strength am the ba match ni ho and my coach na abufu ye pa na odi Marcus Rashford mempese mekasamano yenti Rashford after the game also free bench by on Rafinha nyina be boy but Rashford edin komo kakra na asia bisa on person obegia tum so as am crofo boy but as akwezo na den on one day wada odi etie Marcus Rashford after the game.
It's a tough game, of course early red card and we have already 1-0 down, so it's a difficult game to come back into. We try to stay compact, but also try to find the moments to try to jump to win the ball. But they played well with the man extra, and sometimes football is like this. We have to recover and try to do better.
It's not easy to win Chelsea 11 against 11, 10 against 11. It's almost impossible.
It's not impossible, but I think they do the right things with the ball, and they utilise the extra man. There's not much we can do about this, but we can't be too hard on ourselves. We have to be ready to come back and play better on the weekend. It's a tough game. of course, earlier.
Free up branch fan sir Marcus Rashford. I swear the Bernardo Peno live on the show now. Mame Bansa goalkeeper fan sir Juan Garcia. Okay, son of permanent Betuka. And Mame Catcho say Juan Garcia say you want to get some time now match. You know, one more ball 11 against 11. Crana Chelsea. And you better any chance Barcelona. And a Samba 10 against 11. Quadie. Now Chesa say cry. Now report was sent at the Bayern. The American can say Juan Garcia. The account to just say. Sir, boss are for about so much titles. As woman now so dia, and your matches be at this and one at Trudiano, and you cross a bus across like a cry. I was a boss at Timmy Winnie. Now, I'm better to analyze it. I am match now, said you know, and some Mesukwana Fe. Woman, are prepared for the next game. Now, Omo lose Omunyan and one and Yakra. And to some yen you may not for correction be a womb, and a mistake be Omayan and Rabiano. I was almost some let me and just say, woman analyzing your manafe, woman some come kama and no aye kakra a free aye goalkeeper one gas as well and some at baby you know one of them man of the match omo ma man kukureya na so Chelsea for nan kasa say woman de omo man of the match award no woman de ma William Estevao akwadano bajuma pa enti Estevao ne Chelsea for say club no woman man of the match aye akwadano and a UEFA a man of the match and some aye kukureya and no aye serious na on Estevao no wonum sasa ya say tie coach afan sa Enzo Maresca ene aye Sky na Sky no emsam aba Sky Italia ano no mudin common ya see coach no ko ka say Estevao omubusa sa kwame no was be protect ya akoda no ano se hade Estevao no why say old style guy na sa titini pa na 34 no sa time no wo mo hyedan kita phone say bia what dressing room na miami phone so uofie miami phone so na dabia social media wo sorry a ehom ana wote no say hey we dey akutia bia nim ni wura o em so o twidi aya akoda no ho lami yama ho ana so Estevao no dey onyo bia wonom aye chese phone nsansam kra na dabia na akoda no ye adwumaden wo ye simple boy ana no wachi o say normal kid onye no ho sa wo ye star ana se bibia chese no ana ma ne pena sampa ana deba konso sa akoda no na busuafo e wa around ama boy no and some a special player no mom what I see a normal guy I just akoda no wo ba so chese antise bia tabia no o to social media no so na ma posti adecha ma posti meswa ma faha mesia menam ha e kwa ne adema chese akoda no pena sampa na ebiem no mum sa coach no say akwame na mo fa so betimi protect akoda no bi no say moya moye sign and Estevao no woman start ball and woman start ball was it game plan as well say game plan I require so was a boy start to be started one starting so Pedro Neto and a boho Neto so ya pa and you say be fiti ya pa now what to akwada to because akwada your ball no one papa and you say be one no Maresca pe and say be on started boy no mum a game plan Sani anani yo Man City yentie coach na kwanya womo fa som manager akwada ya fa William Estevao Maresca and some Kasai.
Because if he doesn't play, Pedro Neto play wide in his position, and Pedro is good, and we are happy with Pedro. We try just to depends the game plan. We use 11 players. Tonight we decide probably in the most difficult game of the season. We decide to play with Estevao. So I'm not a manager that I don't allow player to play minutes. It's just the game plan. The game plan decide always the first 11. This is the reason why we changed so much. And you say that we are unpredictable, but it's the game plan. The game plan define the first 11. Now the next one is Arsenal. The game plan that not always is good, sometimes also is wrong. Define the first 11. And Estevao, when the game plan is for him, he's going to play, and for sure he's going to play many games because he's very good. No, to be honest, because if he doesn't play,
fast church mudenti Drew Babia now kwadane fan say William Estevao our bench o ma kwadane mono and I tell say manager no dey ntrom and so bare biem no on say mo na shase say Rafinha ekoka say the next 10 years and go 15 Lamine Jamal and William Estevao omumie no and so and bema chese Kenya som asi our board mu say Ronaldo and Leo Messi mo be no coach ne so obesere pa munya botre mo man kwadan enjoy omu game the moment mo be start to say mo de Estevao and Jamal eko compare Ronaldo and Messi no at the pressure eton kwadan so too much pressure enye man kwadan no na beda kaso de Lamine Jamal ko compare Messi na o de bia William Estevao ma kotutu Ronaldo ye nya ne sa o tumunya man kwadan nyini enom aye football coach ye fa Enzo Maresca edema mo dabiano mo your comparison yentie coach no.
Remind me the goal he scored against us in the Club World Cup. That is very similar, same action. Estevao needs relax. He needs to enjoy. He needs to session. He needs to play football. Him, Lamine, they are so young with 18 that if you start to talk about Messi, I think it's too much for young boy like them. So 18. They need to enjoy. They need to arrive at the training ground, happy session. But when you start to compare them with Messi or with Ronaldo, I think it's too much for them. The goal from Estevao reminded me the goal he scored against us in the Club World Cup. That is very similar, same action.
At the Bernardo Pay live, so shown so and watch it. On him say, Jamensa can say AC Milan, Omu goalkeeper na. You found say Mike Mignon, Jaminian and other players, and found a say Robert Sanchez, AC Dagono, make us a Chelsea. Ever so much started Operation Mike Mignon. Okaya, nan come up Mignon. At the Club World Cup. One more year, I'm say AC Milan, Amakra, Max Allegri. Amakwena boni nyansa contract nyame ya na January wo betimi ne club bi asane pre contract agreement e Chelsea for no asanya Mike Mignon mo pe because now no derby no wo mo hwe bi usama sa hunu ya wonya mero hunu ya da suni ma juma ball a chese no eye kakre from aso de ba honsam no nyina no ya de ba Chelsea supporters no say Champions League ne kwara mo so mo mpe omo no adwuma no be so mo ya no mo ye no na adwo ne to de e say clubs amaka mo nkoba na mo nkwaje Champions League title no wo mo title no fanya he o ma jibi pen e bia Arsenal money ade no mo pe but de na o me so mo kanipa no tum eni se bia o mo ye eno atu de e wo mo na e bia mo san be PSG na ya sa kire mo e se shuruma na ya verse na new team mo na new team so hu Ronaldo Araujo ade be si Ronaldo Araujo guys 2 seasons ago many PSG okwedi red card Gundu and criticize ya wo mugina so by the pamono ya last season against Inter Milan same and then one Jones to say masa ni goma tenesa come so still ena ya da so defender sani at but yemna na afia na meto so still live on Wontumi Sports buffet baby a chechira aboan wan ye san no momfa team no bo emre wo mo ya nto aswe ya na manfo to more but basing na mo say one honest guy make post or Twitter and as X and na joke say Newton kan yampa say Araujo de nyenyenye but no nya adwen but we de no kwanya me anim nie o say je obo to me kan tro no pay why o ma me mention to say me kan o say je obo
yeah me dan say na adwen de say
me say am so sa me say am so me say je obo no be say me say you no ball na me say hey I said no the over day. Okay, so Newton, say they laughed at Newton for saying Araujo wasn't ready to lead the back line. But vision always looks like madness until time proves it right. Salute to him. And what target new. Mike, be find it. And also rightly you hit it on the nail. Say Maresca Sunyane tactics writer. Tactical genius a bed yama bass and pano also message by I'm say will be asking me from where you mamo me also crowd come we no catches all quite catch it sebi ni pass me say me chan wan ko kan say no the bay na so mano ti mabeka
adwuma na ne enya de esronko bia
adwuma na na ye nti
okay
sanity
mate wo ene yabeba so na we say fancy you will live and airborne at Doom Malcolm. Shout outs to all the Malcolm phone sellers, Zibo, Pablo, Nana Buampon, and I feel blue forever. The day were Doom Malcolm anymore, a loginum, any a yard denum, and almost so a monitor Takwa prisons, Masanya message through local prisons. So, Officer Doom DMs and the salary or some of the my inmate, you know, move on to me anymore because Senwana or person watch bet and won't check by my fino. Walk.
Your Champions League, no, your games be bring on my boy. You discuss it, even hours after game, no, be on my in Canada cry. But there are certain games discussion about travel, even now true be ending no. Sela no, you be can was some of these games in the billion right across of Chelsea near you know. And then yes, so why? Now me cooking yet. Me cooking yet. Yes, so maybe out of tones are
I was
born and ready to fight. No, me sure no Dr. Aiko no Ohemo. I said maybe I go be the no was in a nimpe. Younger guy needs to flash for him in tea. Already can who go to that's why I'm go there. Energy again the kasa go in your tomb on the phone as well. Go there. Now, second goal, no better than me. I'm saying me be ball quality how much. Ask for be invite me. Oh, the goal there, Hey, Vicky. She said, "No, me coffee is a crown for. Me coffee one. No, it's for not to flight mode. No, me coffee cry because no game no. Now, how a game? Let's tell you. Me pese me discuss no ye pa na me bon quick e de kono ma nya time kakra okay
and sorry kakra
ohunu
di ode chance
wo de yema holidays waka
me ba fa say ya me pass masaka so you see say game no ya na enima be the course before the game line up be course and Rami Busa Meza say line up Ben Abalana Ben Abana Unyama me to say the party I call so line up on the buy no me say Rashford and started Rafinha started Frank Torres started our left to okay again a cost so many genitrim yeah and komobi o honma wudi tra one of the most difficult situations all bomu paaye na watwe no a team bi ba win sa na watwe kro no ano na important players be returning from injuries aba sana watwe kro na no a very very important match bi ba ya na we coach na technical team na disturb mo pa some when you line up so right mo ba ji omo a returning from injuries na di akọ start omo or oba ball with omo form na odu omo kono na abebo ya na anima very difficult at the moment. Let's look at the lineup through Hans Flick no a perspective of Frank Torres our left winger e ho na Rafinha wo e ho na Rashford by when yana form pa and no bench will be no ball Frank Torres for Frank Torres to be on the left wing naturally a ghost and what should free no and yet trickery and yet one brilliance and yet speed and yet take-ons and you'll be on the goals beba now goals in there Rashford the dimba mu kakra ho but check is Rashford now or tranche kakra you'll be going for Frank Torres especially looking at the last game no oh boy Lewandowski as a center forward and Lamine Yamal as support now the makeup of Hans Flick Medford no esako boa Chelsea kra ochuso Garcia and other Frankie de Jong e kan ho as a typical double pivot and other Frank Lopez etu omenim now Lopez buy no ade na kosi ni say Garcia na yana say obesity and a Frankie de Jong a body onimbo and a Ferran Lopez because in the final third ya na onim goal no share ni identity Ferran Lopez the final to timisha goal inti no na attention call Lewandowski so more than the obey their support to Garcia and a Frankie de Jong now we share Chelsea lineup on the yaw akwa yet to say Freeman Medford now and Maris Kenya name be right
Okay.
Asemi me catch wo me nim de wo bo mu kakra me wo selection. How are you selection? A perfect selection. From Premier kakra na me di Cheni Division 2 na me coach ni one mu na me catch say. Maresca de na wo ye no for Barca game we he got many things right. The three man me for do. Eye omumi ansa ya adwuma bia ye bi. Pacho ti ase.
Na ise de ebia Enzo beye no Reese ebeye de we be wait me aso obia ye obia adwuma ne bi mo samum pepepe eno man ye a perfect method free Shadrack menyi free so safabra ye kase perfect amon short baby James on timi pie short on she eno ba ku bi kra fa po de nche na sa de ne ka sa de so nya bi na Fernandez so okay yanka off the ball in Crammy and Sanwa. Adia ka said by James Intiminya with Fifio. Na Enzo so good tackler. So on and off the ball, Omumi and say Juma pepe. Nemo me and Dana no share Basaho. Garcia, ni profile be the Lopez, Family Lopez profile. Garcia, see close to Frankie Dijon. 3 different players. And DM an orthodox box to box and then but none of it worked. Now the hydrogen say how Flick Kasai after game no say or shut Chelsea game. Now when you look at Chelsea, they play with a lot of dynamics. I have it for Shadrack and Fantu so. Has a Flick no I just trouble now. Maresca NGB no. And all come for Maresca say when you see Chelsea, they play more dynamic. This is what I want my team to play. Whatever coach in the person trying to say, Chelsea dynamism no. I hear fan walk was him. My can't form for free no. In the final third, Obenche omo who say omo the natural number 9 for who trimunum no Obenche omo, and he went for the kind of strikerless formation. Sometimes I'm for kind of false 9, but make shemu kakra. Strikerless let's say or Sevao or Neto or Ganacho Obien Hormo number 9 or anymore. Obien Hormo center forward. Na a body say no yaw. Say room or technical team no meeting na me no me no ni hon. Mo discuss mobility over physicality. Okay. And yeah, Chelsea side mobility. Players with quick movement into close small pockets. Esval move, Ganacho move, Neto run it. It's mobility. They are more mobile. Essence of body lap. Obo Jean Pedro. Mo na baby na aka. Aka na in back. Maggie.
Wontumi.
So in a game you are looking for goals, but 9 for the goals in the band you are benching them, meaning says systematically omo move the more no ebe hunting ebe disrupt the opponent in the defense no. Enti nkrane me ensa no all the goal scoring bamudia bia ka baka say ye for 9-4, but these guys in me say fluid we be fa na we fa untama we twam na we twam. That is dynamism. Adadantoma ewo attacking them. Adadantoma ewo Chelsea attacking them. You can't pinpoint at 9 in the at some point no Sevao na nemanim ho awoba e to be na 9 to be na gada to be twam. That's what the coach is talking about, dynamism, mobility, the final tell for Chelsea. Now, game the cost. At some point, I'm saying, no, we are not coming back in the game. Yeah, even before the record, no. So coming back, it means, oh, but Toka, I saw for 3 points in a cool.
Yes.
And I say, no, we are not coming back in the game. Now, for selection's sake, your idea be a friend say technical, tactical concurrence. Ye ba no pa na ye beto ade Messiah ya no ye on phone so no se camera na capture na on say no na way make so sa or prepare na wa prepare we no na ya wa bie mic na to ade na o prepare na no na o be deliver de ma fiefo as a venga be catch say o hwe wo zeal de o ye training grounds o man selection da ye from technical tactical concurrence ade na o ye training grounds no ya o ye lazy player. But the coach is different, and we have other players at training grounds. So we are super, but I'm a selection. I'll be disappointed. And the other fans in the honor, but we can crowd man selection. Some of the players can say training grounds this week. This guy was on form, but technically, tactically, so did the same form. No, call simultaneously. And then see. So my dream, no. This week, what you say? Crimea and Sevao, Neto, Ganacho, or mad. Disturbed for fun and chaloba more training ground so brutal. I
feel na mama who reasons here game against Burnley on say Omestiva obejina line so non komo ye sap balito jae ansana give more early assist my second goal number no and man James so ball just 45 minutes second half amana mabiem
enti anima na all rehearse
so o prepare for the whole week.
So I credit Maresca for the tactical genius ahead of this game. Araujo mempesa me waste time on him.
Oh why?
His pass is prime. We're on the peak.
How old?
26. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I fade the how old rate to say when nam bush road do other cafe no kwabeti asikwam. I feel like I'll be fire pa. I don't know how, but his pass is prime. Love Laube Pese born center backs about the early stage of Drew said we did that's also on Araujo or Kodia Undruho. Yeah. And that level no, unfortunately we're tremble honmo. One Timian Kumpuna. We have Ramos. I'm talking about the Ramos Makudruno. Pepe mo Chiellini Bonucci. Nansen Foni Marquinhos Varane. Oh, come on, I'm in Udino.
Yeah.
I'm on love for an American. Araujo, on twin Drew Babia, Diego Godin, Santiago Jimenez, Mokrako Drew, no Chamako Drew Ramos more. Now the game, he has a lot to learn. Watch out, Basa 2019-2020, or baby, no by 6 years. Will grow a leader of the team, the tackles, micro details part of the game, not that's so beating. Who is giving you that maximum time to develop? At this point, our pressure with him so. Now Shadrach can find the profile into so. Where I am telling you, say we came on the peak, Oh, sorry, I offer about the transfer market growth now. Oh, so dear, you scientifically, I am passo. It will be better, Basa. Let's go of this guy. Now, I'm going to move on. Maybe I'm Shadrach. I have to have it. For the previous one in the camp from Brana, yeah, we'll go quickly. This is where he started from. One was see Hono. And Afro. Yeah. In see the tracing.
About from there.
Now, of frost, no, 2023, the peak season, no, 2023, he was valued 70 million. Because a center back, he valued 70 million. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Center back.
And Kabaka said the top strikers, offensive midfielders.
You know. 70 as a 2023 now if 2023 neba no she said see tracia eba now we know last updated no September 2025 which is the third quarter of 2025 okay. Now fourth quarter no na ye we now the performance that to say
let's say fourth quarter the bar 35 no crab sound drop it
the shadow can for details in Fambra. Season after season after season, where his profile has plummeted to this level. From 2018, now by joining a club on a 70 million peak year, and I'll drop about 40 million SABA 2025. And at 2025, last quarter performance, and Chom the Bible home. So he's dropping. Yeah, what in common I say? Now, the last from that game now, but they bought Maresca Basoye the word intensity. Intensity won't mean for when but when it is being exhibited, you feel it. Intensity, it is a commitment. But when it is being exhibited, you feel it. And no Chelsea ball with a lot of intensity. Intensity is the most powerful tool that separates two technically identical sides. Chelsea ne basa squad way, yaw, bako muro bako so sao. Technically, they are very much identical. Omumbi enu nyina unestablished says defensive structures. Omachiro da bia change chop and change we chiro. Me wa ban fifi more solid method. Enye two teams nyina ni solid method. Individually, collectively. In the final third, ubenya me shapes ewa how more. Yeah, two very identical sides. What separates them? You can say team boss what a two momentum intensity. Intensity, and they say quick fouls, quick restarts. I'm a foul to break play. And very, very quicker on second balls at both zones, offensive, defensively. Second ball be a to be I'm gonna find first. You have a foul, I'm gonna foul. I'm gonna break you play. Yet I'm gonna in the final third, I'm gonna quicker transition. When your friend say intensity. Okay, Argentina and Netherlands game will walk up on. Argentina for Messi will Julian Alvarez will be a B. Yet look at the intensity. Someone fan count game no ya won't even call. And Adeba shock him to say Chelsea have been able to transcend the intensity of the JT led era to a nay. James-led squad we. And you then Crawford we say no. And ya that mentality no na mo JT Lampard de bought Chelsea mo. At the Bobasa those days you know. Then the Basa players didn't replicate that same mentality no mo so the bono. What men come on say. And even to the Chelsea fans of one crowd, they still believe say Basa can fast. That same mentality.
Yeah.
Yes, no more.
And me kai omo buy draw no Chelsea for no be some players so mo ba training na. Omo media officer na ye o team na be so dread. Most of Chelsea squad no call for Barcelona and the be also call for PSG. I say the whole can na mam dey to say still na krom the new generation grass no money a pebble.
Yes. Mentality not transcended to the new gen. But Barca is still lacking. Name my be me Hansi Flick. Me di ya won in selection in the BMU and running the game management. I can so be abo from no. Apart from intensity, Chelsea my PSG intensity, Urefi, Club World Cup. Madrid my Barca intensity, El Clasico okay. But Atletico Madrid, Madrid intensity 5-2. So intensity is a powerful tool. Apart from Hansi Flick and Yano. Shall selection or you know. Now after Barca that from Tamena Christensen buy no.
Second half.
Not goes to the SA.
Oh, sometimes say 2 so.
Christensen buy no you when free Lopez and a Christensen Sabeka Garcia home. Garcia as a centre back, Christensen as a centre back, or maybe Obaye no, and also no consider the third goal. So show culturally this is Barca side that we're defining who in history as an attacking side. Now concede. Now the coach, he defensive coach, defensive substitution, or you really ya no as a concede as so. Now Kabusa, who's a Christensen no, or the neighbor there, or the neighbor defended 2 goals, you know. Then him Guasena and also. You understand, eh? What consider you a Christensen ever? Na Christensen, I just remember force nine. Or Barca de Baya shambles and so but Obawiya and I do that ball the toilet. Kudos to Chelsea and Amaresca, they deserved it. But to Barcelona, I feel say Barca, Jonathan Tano will lose to Bayern no. And of course, losing that Martinez guy to Saudi no. Asam Chirona you say, hey. Chirona, there be some catch you some chiro. Me say chiro intimini hope.
O so crowd what candidate say Barca ni be anyi na nim free. We so.
For Arsenal buying 2 model clubs are more believing on a more ideology. They are not clubs that usually are no more chasing lot of superstars. Say you confer out a lot of finances in the market. Say chases ready made, but you semi-developed that buying can give you that chance to grow. Arsenal so any number, but omumienu nyina ba. Ababa establish it. Now Arsenal side no. I want to talk about 2 different situations. So in the first game our boy, and then as a time I mean say in the last game our boy Arsenal. Look at the differences of quality. I had that 2 lineups in them. He's worked. I say so combine EPL and a Champions League boom. Arsenal concede I think 6 goals. 6 goals EPL in the Champions League. In the first game of ball because Saka ball left back. David Lewis in Socrates and a ball central defense, you know, and on the Maitland now a ball right back. In fifth, you know, Xhaka, Torreira, and then Mesut Ozil, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Reece Nelson. Look at this lineup. National can find the other one and 2. Then you talk about quality individually, quality collectively, from Ben Leno to the final third. So in a span of that duration, Mikel Arteta changed the nature of how our Arsenal team no the quality, it can be efficacy. How effective are BBA even if ne value no any srumpa. So o check Arsenal squad we say me no. O ma grow papa in the final third we no still are no jokers in any mobile. And coach we are so missing a bit like Gabriel Magalhaes.
So we cry Mikel Merino on the Bonai.
Yes.
True Perish anyhow, Havertz anyhow. Odegaard Kram my. Oh.
He's really moved this team. Sal NH on so kwa Magalhaes esuli ho. No akofa kepa ababet na bench. So Mikel Arteta ye adwuma. Na defense no na ababe define no. Meanwhile no Arsenal ye team back from as Wenger na ye nimre ba no. E more attack no any define but adeba come hu ne say defense no mu no ababa bro attack no so yes so mo nya attacking side they still score opa check EPL no mo goals kese na check Champions League oni buy na she goals kese yet buying a short goals no no Arsenal no be ntimi fa ball into more Champions League this season and I feel say any game no be so but be a bit disappointed by the absence of Luis Diaz.
Okay.
What do you call PSG game now? I'm gonna buy him boy, the most important factor was Luis Diaz. The ball carrying ability, the one-on-one, the shooting capacity, or Wontumi and San and Mutu between on target, and of course, the ability to pick up second balls around the box. But then when you know Michael Olise, Serge Gnabry would have to step down because Hurricane won't stay top. Or but drop your bar. Only say Arsenal penetration is very difficult. The Basa only about drop your bar, so be support. I'm a born ako. But so Basa and say only say Serge Gnabry no, almost step up. No to me, Kelly those half chances and Hurricane be creating. But to me, game we say game who company so the Louis Enrique or Paris company ba no be share Arsenal or Emirates now. 1-2 clubs of Champions League, the company better number one.
So to me, share Arsenal.
Emirates now, but Mikel Arteta a share company now. Arteta better trophy this season, Champions League or EPL.
Okay, what new Mate Medase Meza?
Yes, my initiative for now. Say, and our results no it prove a lot of things. Now validity when it comes to the Champions League. And I normally we coach and now you play and now to a very good day. Yeah. Cement a lot of things them out, especially with your career anyhow I bit me carrying it on. Now first of all kakra on the Chelsea Barcelona then you are my behe by me Arsenal kakra na yaw me hwe no game na course na and you may be there di kire e bi you may be so de kire ya in the next years to come no just maybe we might look back and say no, that was the turning point of the moment for either a coach or even a player. For Enzo Maresca, I believe for him as a coach na Nkasano, he will realize that there are a lot of expectation on his shoulders, he say, because one, wakwaji the Club World Cup, waji the Conference League, and in the big games he's making a statement within the tactics. It's not all that rosy, because there are certain games of Otakakra and Wontumi lose such games. Ebu okra Wontumi border the bar. But for the big games, for trophies, Oba Chelsea kakre yedi eni ehu bia omoye. Bayaw, Bibusa say, is there a renewed hope for Italian football or Italian coaches? Because it looks like within the terrain of Italian coaches, or Fred were the same spot when you go to the Italian Serie A. National team nipe coach or show within no ibi. Gennaro Gattuso, Luciano Spalletti and Chebia. Omwakaso omo no. Sebaku je adwuma na se na bia no masesa kakra na bia Juventus awura mu akofo bi foforo de naba. Ba na edada no a Antonio Conte ankochi Inter, Allegri ne ba be kochi. Anya Allegri a ebe Spalletti. E ya chopa na ekopa ya na Mancini si da bi on ba biem. Claudio Ranieri eja coach intina fie. Emma Roma kutwa no ho akofa Claudio Ranieri sa de ne ba Italy biem. Maresca gives me a certain level of hope to set the start of Marcello Lippi, Carlo Ancelotti. Menkaso will do sa level no. But there is a hope. Say how dynamic he is. And in the Jumo City no. It's like Obia or an Italian background, but a touch of adaptability when it comes to say or adapt other philosophies to make him special. In some of these big games. Is it Italy for betting me at Tanasi said that they wouldn't look within the Italian Serie A to pick a coach. But definitely they might look behind them, put their eyes outside their country and go, so no, you are the man. Branebeye Jumamae. And Otondi ni kama 4 coaches now about the Premier League ni mwa omu free Italy omu make a statement pa ay mududo na so call Champions League no mutimi ye nyoma kakra. Claudio Ranieri, Carlo Ancelotti, Antonio Conte, Mancini. Ancelotti di Chelsea be G League, Okochi Chelsea. Antonio Conte be coach Chelsea or the G League. Claudio Ranieri coach Chelsea and for Man League or the Leicester G League. Mancini and coach Chelsea or coach Manchester City.
Yeah, Odiomo J.
Inti four coaches no mo make an impact in nyina no yaw. Italians in nyina no emu be 2 and 3 have a stint with Chelsea. Asase a boy Italian coaches. Mo fifi be yesronko epia wo mo iti aware a yakabo ma efe ana mo mienu na de ahia omode bo mo homode. And Enra was one good resource for Chelsea for their project and their future.
Mauricio Sarri crowns
Mauricio Sarri so by ebe coach bi the Chelsea ko G the Europa League. Chelsea in a man opportunity to win an European title.
Yeah.
So it tells you even Di Matteo. It tells you the importance of but me make the level of Omomaba league, you know. Wabeje. Not even after the league in the crown or different clubs, maybe in the Champions League is doing so well.
Okay.
And yeah, for a shorter stint.
Yeah.
But Omoma making name for themselves within the terrain. Big guys in Omama family now. For Maresca, he looks towards that particular role and direction. Say Obetimi achieve BB with that. And yeah, fantastic performance and setup by the team yesterday. From Robert Sanchez to Fofana to every the starting lineup got it right on point. When you get a perfect result, we'll be here to commend you for a perfect result. And history has said repeating itself. Say a bad thing say Barcelona about Chelsea. Then mum kenra kabasa she wa ya o kemi sen kamia ne na no pe kama betina no maka se Barcelona Champions League mo hwe na mo fama o. Because the last time Barcelona ko share Chelsea was Stamford Bridge 2006. Barcelona na Champions League no. Barcelona na ko Champions League no. 2006. Odi Maresca and your man in Como I didn't remember Basa so to Chenya. For Chelsea, I think for a player like Estevao. Obie Boni Diabo game nevi Estevao. A time in 2001-2002, Ronaldinho Epimuno. Performances so done in the Champions League. Ricardo Kaka 2003 in the Champions League. The Obeye. Now for Estevao to play such high profile game, never go share. Never any influence will give him more. Yow, a star was born and Ramajuno. Champions League na bonesu. Nemum esu bonesu wa. The American money deni e kwan a obefa so a obetimi akam abon ho mode ama deni dan nyina bia na expectation e da o show this no obetimi amiti. Maresca say akoda we on fan phone on kind social media. We focused on football. We love players who are like that because they perceive football too important, a lot of competition in it. Then there comes the comparison after yesterday's game. Jamal Estevao. Now the tag of that particular comparative analysis people wants to bring on board no yaw. No credit nyamie nimnie. Healthy. Yes. And my football too important because obi do a chia na iron ho boni ye.
Okay.
Nemo membeka say Estevao drew Lamine Yamal level. And common na mini wudi ni say sa conversation na ye de nkula we mienu pese tum no. Ebe boa ma football team ya tumpon. Nemo no kure wo ni ye say Estevao nya drew Lamine Yamal level. Because me no mienu di nkomwe Lamine Yamal ewiase nyina ye koyi Ballon d'Or no. On the tosu mienu. On the tosu mienu. Yaw, waye bida. Anamebwa. Last season wanye.
Yeah, waye.
Anu wasa ko fan the national team abon ho modern leading the national team to trophies at Euros. Na mum de ma enkomodi de ne bam we be ya kono e be ye de ne ye se. abra Cristiano Ronaldo siso ntem kra bobo ni bia na ehunu kra mpo chen Lionel Messi. Ronaldo ba Manchester United 2003 enyomo obeyeye edi ana amafo bo na asa 2004 eko 2005 ye bo season ni wie na ye UEFA top team na top 11 of the season na Ronaldo mudi ni na mubi na emum Messi be pie conversation nim no e ma Ronaldo e na ye den intente Messi na kasa so bo no homoden e ye nyoma bebre e de be chen de na Ronaldo aye mre bi with certain records and certain statistics which are arguably one of the best in the world. Sana mi hu baby Alami Yama de ne Estevao de no so nkomo ne betimi afa. And Brazil for no so push Estevao. Chelsea also wants to push him. Omo monitor akodani here because these are talents we can't afford to lose. Akodano benya bad games. Pa. Yow, football na ye bono obi asua de. He will have certain bad games. For 2-3. He will have it. Obenya bi uswa. He will have it. But come be fa so obi overcome. No pushy. No get it to that level no. Eye nkomo a yaw emre ene nkrabia ene bechere. But to me hu ni say akoda we with the potential. So the bedu so. Na emom mprempren a ye di nkomo idie. Yen tam nipa tete anan emfa nkoto nipa tenten kon. Ba de wo ye no ekwan na akoda no. Enam so. Ekwan na. Okay say me enye ne na me bo Estevao odi yon yaw. Me hu aka me screenshot me tweet bi de ma Shadrack 2023 ne bo under 17 World Cup na say no this boy is a star. Onye Echeverry
o show ne Claudio Echeverry
Ben Echeverry bo Leverkusen. Estevao bo Champions League night determine games. Yaw abrabo ne shebre ne de to de bi anasa na tie obi ani ne ti nipa mienu betimi apie ba ko betimi afa ba ko ntimi mfa. Na mo meche very opportunity say from by Leverkusen can do better, move to Man City and do the best.
Na no Arsenal and the former club ne say pen Argentina.
Omope you see o say ko ba we na movie from Brazil aba Europe. Ya brabo no we na movie from Brazil aba Europe good games. But this kid is a star in the making. Amu managing here into na namo ye. By premu there abutre na kakra. He will get there. Obedro. He will get there. But let Lami Yama come on there. Yaw. Nyoma mienu. Lami Yama has seen it. He's there now. Or no, it's up to him to sustain it. Or no, Lami Yama, it's up to him. So Betima sustain ya. But for Estevao, he's gradually pushing and knocking on the door. That I am coming. Kaisedu, and I'm a catcher say a Chelsea Barcelona game via BC's BAP. Neno who Kaisedu born and bonena. Ujinum not the netia. Quality defensive midfielder. But early group stage game say no yaw. Amayes how to look at these two teams going forward. But when Chelsea Barcelona won't qualify for the next round. We should Chelsea into me champions and we should Chelsea. These are the group stages. And I think the significant aspect of this game here say Omumi no record now they just say playing in a new stadium, especially these teams who might qualify for the finals. No. That is a significant story that is attached to this game. Yeah. On the Bayern Munich Arsenal game, now for Vincent Kompany and Mikel Arteta. European night Brebia a boy timi announce coach bi say emre bi eda nanim no betimi abaji bibia na obetimi dominate world football. There are specific games I be omoso. Etiyan kwachiri nkwohwa de bi kakra. The Parma team of 1995-1996. Where na Carlo Ancelotti ye coach. Thuram, Cannavaro, Gianfranco Zola. Yeah, most of these guys, Ekonya a very good resource against the then Juventus team of 1995-1996. My theory 95-96, not Juventus in the Champions League. Now look at that team of Juventus or Modokoje Champions League. Anna Carlo Ancelotti, a young manager, acquired no winning that particular game by 3-2. Yow, free sad and anajo. And Obiasi Debbie Yenya Giovanni Trapattoni Moses coach Saba. Yenya top coach be our system ni more young, Obetimia ma, Yomatimia Dane the amount, and then they earning a job to Juventus and go. Obenya AC Milan Jumano. Now in 2008, Frank Rijkaard had Bebo Champions League, the Newman Farmer, United be in a film. Now Pep Guardiola comes in 2009 and game a beer Pep Guardiola so Kesiepa was the quarterfinal first league game against Bayern Munich. Now, first 45 minutes, that game Barcelona share Bayern Munich 4-0. Bayern Munich team or more Frank Ribery. Nene na vuvo nyina gum no oyomo ho adwuma e hye omo. That was the night everybody knew Pep Guardiola was special. Ada obi ehunu se Jose Mourinho is special, the famous Old Trafford winner obenya ye. Obe kaisa game no yawo. Omuhye go no wie ya otete Ferguson Chiri Park ne so akosi 3. And obi ase no, there's a special coach that has come into the system. Now these are two young coaches that will be playing tonight. For Mikel Arteta, I think he has already announced himself as a young coach. Obetimi Bibi with world football and that game was against Real Madrid, that two-legged affair in the Champions League. Santiago Bernabeu, any game no more Emirates. But for Vincent Kompany, tonight might be one particular game where he can announce himself and tell you as in Nase Derby, Misumini Maba. It games in a beer Jose so, games in a beer Pep so, games in a beer a lot of coaches so. Carlo Ancelotti Moso, a beer Mikel Arteta so, or comment section, you can comment games are a beer coaches be so. So I'm a Champions League in the you know certain coaches games be beer also. Ebi one my future na bright, ebi anye bright. But for these coaches I'm about mudino, do na akoye dia more in their next generation. Because Tamana Jose yes, and Jose Obe 41 years. Pep Guardiola yes, and Pep Guardiola was 38 years. Carlo Ancelotti was 36 years. As at that time, when getting that resource against Juventus. For Vincent Kompany, this is a Mikel Arteta team in Europe. Yow, Obiano Obetimi Akacha me says ye top 5 teams in Europe. Omo was through domestically the Champions League. Ube Arsenal's Mikel Arteta the not on chain. They be defensively tough, attacking tough. Last season, they had to take Paris Saint-Germain to overdo themselves to get a qualification against Arsenal. And semi-final bet last season. But yo, Bayern Munich above Arsenal were Champions League group stage 2 seasons per 2000-2001. I remember 2015-2016 season. 19 year. In the 2000-2001 season, Champions League format is different. Because during those days, Omudi Campo group stage we are 16 teams never cano yembebo the round of 16 no round on number home and away no. Yeah, yes, I chemu into 4 groups. Now that round of 16 in Yebenya, another group stage between Arsenal and the Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich go 2-2 away over the Arsenal Fofi. Omoko sa game no. There was only one English player in that setup. Bayern Munich ball final of the Champions League that season. SRG Champions League in this year also.
Hey.
So that team no Sami Kofo. Not a part of that particular team. That was a team no more really Sanyo. Vicente Lizarazu. Effenberg Munina in that particular Bayern Munich team. 3 at the back. Link Munina Bobby. The only English player in that particular midfield or in that team, they will win Hargreaves. I'm going to Champions League that season. 2015-2016, Bayern Munich had no English player within their certain level or lineup. Arsenal share Bayern Munich with you. At the Kuko and Nim Koje. Arsenal team ankoje there, but Bayern Munich went to the semi-final of the Champions League against Atletico Madrid. And he Bayern Munich the frame. Now fast forward back in the group stage game, where these two teams are the best when it comes to the league phase of the Champions League in terms of goals scored, the number of goals conceded. But yeah, Bayern Munich team were prone to conceding goals. The question is, omo concede omo team ashedi at Arsenal. Hurricane goes back to England against a familiar foe. Not London for no Tottenham near Arsenal. There's Serge Gnabry too, who has also played there. Okay. Vincent Kompany worked for Manchester City, played for Manchester City. Going back to England. Yeah, Arsenal will feel the game near Bayern by Munich. Se game we paya enyam 1-1.
Draw enyam.
Ebi a 1-1, 2-2 enyam 1-1. But so ka se mimma obi a little edge. Se efie obetimi de enya results a. Betimi akọ de ama Arsenal.
Okay. Mate. Wo me da se meza Mike.
Fancy me da se Andra game na course in home come ye di bebre. I want to add just maybe 2 or 3 things to it. Reece James, bebre, John Terry, Frank Lampard at a point in time where captain Nebieda. But I am beginning to see a certain leadership trait with Reece James in moi. He's the silent leader, but the effective one. Reece James and Casa bebre. Park and so be any baby cry, he doesn't complain. Uchana also no sorry no proper no abobono. You don't see him as vocal or perhaps very animated on the in the game on the pitch. To say the who be more the captain Sambambono in the game and where the main young fans fight Basa for, but on fan chame made the example. Diana Mara Honya first you look at
descent.
Or Kotiati Mugu referee so for an incident that near booking the first yellow card, a very unnecessary. The man who Reece James no say he gets the job done. First ball no bebo, then how he will help the teammate no to also play. And that is the leader this group of Chelsea players need at this point in time. Since we a Chelsea player, I was parking. Also, then I was shed the Reece James here, boy. To me, I understand the whole Cucurella way was stopping Yamal because it looks like there is a certain spectacle. Train said Lami Yamal and Bobo and Nanyoma Bakum Yanubin Koye. Hey, no, be so the narrative goes on. Yamal, any duels or any Cucurella, one more duels against Cucurella than Cucu did. But Yasisanto Nkomono. I'm not a Barca fan, but I'm not no crowd that are not at all. Game do winning duels kesiye pan was Lami Yamal. Duels near the minu shampooing pumachon. And I'm a Ibo fan home the born in Nemo. Cucurella won only 7 out of 18 duels. Intiabane saying, but if narrative ne there's Intian fan is But back to the conversation. Baller Reece James a boy and run. So we a Chelsea player now in a park in this one. Then a catch now. Do you captain or no? You're the most experienced player because none of these Chelsea players have won the Champions League before. No. Now, when saw no couldn't hold on say it robs of you. You will also follow suit. To when Pochettino appointed a lot of Chelsea fans were not in approval of that decision. Now Thiago Silva already now the captain Reece James. But Thiago Silva played that leadership role behind the scenes, our dressing room, and the trait Reece James Apeke. You don't necessarily need to have the band to lead, and he is leading expertly. Excellent. 1, 2. Enzo Maresca befa Chelsea. Near Chelsea saying, Kopama FC, Meboa.
Yeah.
He had to find a way to win off Chelsea's dependency on Kopama. This season, it has clearly played out. I don't know, but coincidence. When Palmer has not been available, Chelsea have proved said they can thrive without him. And it's about the coaching of Maresca this season in the Premier League. So we Wolverhampton Wanderers free. Chelsea need the team where the most rotation Players, yes, the same. Way bebo. But Chelsea are second on the Premier League table. Various factors will lead to that. But I'm only trying to portray a point. Say, Chelsea need the more the various metrics. Check a goal scored, goals conceded. Check a performance metrics. The SSC teams. Chelsea are mostly in the top 5. And this is at a time where Maresca has chopped and changed. Estevao no, and your match Biano started. Even Pedro Neto, yet Biano, yet 10 a bench, yet 10 a drop. Chelsea Man United, no in the frame. So Maresca is building a team that has learned how to play without arguably their best player. And Chelsea now, and yet the Kopama FC we knew. They are now a team that looks like they have a lot of options. And judging by the coach, the Bebano, Ometime Dunya. Yesterday in the game, Newton Kai, none of the 3 established or registered players registered as strikers in the games in the team almost 30 game now. João Pedro, Liam Delap, Magui, Mobi. Maresca started the game without a recognized striker. And so I share 3.
Who line up and I'm saying no.
Exactly. So this is a coach who knows a squad, and this is a squad that has learned to play under the coach and deliver. That is 2. 3. Me bonito na makoy interne Atletico di so. Amma me the pictures be sende Shadrack Estevao picture bi. Baku be a landscape. Uhu Estevao number 41 just no. Then in the background some words. Ma post it to my Facebook. Born is the king. What's the story behind this? There is a certain narrative. Nipa no try picture way no. Onim de and this was posted on Chelsea website. Me download it free. Story omo try. It was part of it. Kwakwa share Estevao Instagram and this picture no so send Shadrack confront so. You will see the same thing. Estevao celebrating the goal ni we no. He knelt, portrayed himself in a certain manner. No more capture anyway. Me pacho me ba. Mesro. Mesro me ba. So born is the king. That means as Chelsea start to use here. Ache. Chelsea start to use Ubana way. Ache. Oma me dear droba sujina pitch so Stamford Bridge shed and wa. Born is the king which. Oma me so. I want us to just play out these scenes in our minds and ye droba and ye didn't know.
Yeah. Banner or born is the king.
But we won't declare. And him. Who is it? Is the king Estevao? Is the king Droba? Is the king Hazard? No. The king is Peter Osgood. Osgood is one of the few players see a boy FA Cup. Every round the beer me measure good my team Chelsea. In the 70s, he scored in every round the beer of the FA Cup. Or she go until Chelsea won it. He was one of the exciting young talents Anna Britain. Osgood was part of England. Omo provisional 40-man squad. For the 1966 World Cup he got the moniker the King of Stamford Bridge. But again, Peter Osgood and a personal lifestyle, the life of the pitch, and Sanum and Mape Sabrano, it affected him, and he never rose to the level that he was supposed to get to. Osgood died of heart attack in 2006. The autobiography, the cover page in the screen is who say Ossie, King of Stamford Bridge. It was written by Martin Kane and Martin Knight. No more Yedemano. Now, other than Chelsea, so Osgood became a hospitality host to Stamford Bridge from 2003. So that he becomes a legend, an icon of the club. Fans based on the Obeye Momo and maybe before Chelsea became the Chelsea that it is now. First, Chelsea Belgium FA Cup. were beating Real Madrid, European Cup Winners' Cup final. So game no more replay. Your first one 1-1, and you have replay. Chelsea winning 2-1. Osgood scored in both games. So he was very symbolic in Chelsea's achievement. In the early years, and it wasn't all so rosy like it is now. Chelsea were not your typical wealthy British club. Or was he called to no winning? But for a club near almost status then, this is the man who signaled how great things were for them in those years. Tomo years on Beshen and Monyam. Oh, 2006 no. Omo Crimetino, ne ashes, they buried it at the shed end. Nenson, Omusie or baby Omo de banana bono. A hono Musie Nenson. The king is dead. We need to birth kings. Stamford Bridge was a hosa, but the life of Peter Osgood will perish, so he will fade away. But Stamford Bridge will still need a king. Inti Droba de no musho no. At that time, not team Nijina Droba ne kukoso. So the symbolic picture of Droba and Bond is the king. And they say at that time on the new king in town. Esteva Odiano, it was deliberately to portray him. Sir Chelsea have gotten their own one. Kopama emphasize adieno. Usha Kopama personality ni ne ya. Kopama ne bia wa SME. On spotlight. He will do his job will be all social media who Kopama. There is no clear plan say yeah pushing a brand in the baby. The only thing Kopama has done is to make sure say he will immortalize the goal celebration and no question who patent anyway. So register. And who be but in this Brazilian who is revered across South America, the only Brazilian Okita an Argentine nickname Messinho. It means even at the teenage year of 18, Oberton way along such line, and it looks like almost every big occasion he seizes it. Estevao first game of Boti at Chelsea, and go no and he scored similar. The other year Kubasi ne Alejandro Balde. Oh yeah, Levi Cole be. Go and watch that go in the Club World Cup. Triple on the banner right. No a rifle shot they accosted the roof of the net. Again, Oba Premier League nim. How he announced himself, the biggest announcement was at Stamford Bridge. Again, fancy, na the shed end, baby a banner yibo, or shall go against Liverpool, banner away, nebo. Champions League matches are starting in our go. He follows the trails of the likes of Ellen Holland, Kylian Mbappe. Diane. He makes it look ordinary and simple, but a special hallmarks. Oh, I normal so already was go already. But also occasionally a big, a huge. The Brazilian no share goal was Stamford Bridge against Barcelona and a game between Barcelona and Chelsea. I think it is Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho dancing boa share net no. That was the last time I saw a Brazilian either startle opposition fans and then excite Onwane fans. And rather, he startled Barcelona fans and excited Onwane fans. Definitely, born as a king. And dear Peter Osgood na brabo city a train sign when he had the clearest opposite. So we are saying some. Even the Instagram post the crowns were glory be to God. It is speculated say the family no more church or say papa a pastor. Exactly. So when he is different from Peter Osgood, but so the role they play for the same club and then this venue, Chelsea and Stamford Bridge. So Born is the king. Atletico Madrid need the game, and your last 2 seasons, last 3 seasons. Atiko this year, the last time we lose a game with April 2025. Team or question here Barcelona no Jinan and also Copa del Rey.
Almost starting season.
Yes, but now it looks like Simeone has cracked the code.
Yeah.
And now Inter swatch this to be said. So share teams, not team no very tricky attackers or more pace or more speeder. At Inter to me more. check it. The last game against AC Milan. Say ani buy na Rebecca say Milan for your midfield Rabiot Beshem. Napoli set more na ebo mbedi omunya because Inter struggles against fluid attacks, especially with players or more trick and then speed. Atiko Obi Simeone Bano. Today he would be a tormentor in chief if ne papa selecting a somba. Juliano is special. And okita ne papa na kumano. So as ne papa ni coach or touchline or check tactics, ne banon de akumane bo. And it is working well for them. 2 Argentine players who will likely define this game. Julian Alvarez, Juliano Simeone for Inter Milan, for Atletico Madrid. I think Inter any swagger around them. So Omobeko a big away day and an away night. Ako trouble Atletico. Ewa de Metropolitano. It is a game on paper, clearly everything. It looks like a too close. But referee you will clearly see the game dominance ni control no. Ewa Atletico for him. If they beat Inter Milan, do not be surprised. The worst case, Atletico Madrid to win or draw. But I think there will be maybe a couple of goals, 1 or 2 be yebehu be ewa match we more. I am tipping Atletico to do it. Arsenal ne buying them in Newton mobile. Arsenal will love to win against Chelsea than beat Bayern Munich. They don't need a win against Bayern.
Oh, okay.
They don't.
Okay.
Season no. What the strategy never and even a Pep Koye and Rana Pascal you know. He wanted to focus on the league because Arsenal Trimupe Aya Diama Man City. And that is what Arteta intends to do. I say approach to the game will be a bit measured. Then mesre say mo pese mo di game we di juma no. Monya measured kakra wo.
Okay.
Bayern are also losing their best attacker. Yeah. And I say this because of his role with and without the ball. Against PSG, Diaz na here goes Nina. The pressure of the ball. How was he pressing PSG for non-settle or especially that second goal of forcing Marquinhos J ball the ball share. If Diaz is not in, it becomes a different Bayern Munich attack. And Arsenal so Arteta so open the draw be a body. Onya win or pay. But he will not go all out to win like it's a Champions League final and a knockout stage. Nchana opana kwa miem kakra. Ni eba be one of those labored games where you who goes bebre ni bono tactical. Ube we na koye 0-0 draw. Okay. So and today is how I say, but Liverpool first be sani omo. Ya omo be sani omo.
Okay.
Omo be sani omo.
Who don't be sani omo sana.
Baby, omo be sani omo. Who go a ticket to score.
Okay.
Salah started Obeshe.
Okay.
So Liverpool to beat PSV Eindhoven. Then Real Madrid, Mbappe Sane Yache, and Robert Nini name, and also to get on the scoring act. PSG not Tottenham the end day. Unim baby abekwada. PSG will beat Spurs.
Okay.
PSG cannot afford to lose. Back-to-back home games. Bayern Kosheno. They will need to respond, and they will get that win against them.
Whoa. Meda say na sawiyo so cosmos nom amon so debi omo fay and no so kwam na manager catch me yi say Western Diamond TV so na live e wo ho nti Wontumi FM cosmos nom e wo sawiyo so Western North ho nyina say babia e Wontumi Sports Buffet omo fay show eni agrokredo obi ase tamalefo no so sa babia Supremo.
Yeah, fancy.
I just say Barca for and them say oh my emre.
Yeah, radio.
Because we are normal win. Yeah, a normal win.
A normal routine.
A normal.
I'm an iPhone. No, I'm Sadaro, my fancy room now. Young Pedro ni been no mess immune system booster immune system.
Listen, takwa prisons, takwa local prisons. Image no mun kojo maduane mfi officer edumel ho.
Eso seven.
O say what this guy? Oba che bet one chain. Timi so invest.
Ah we ado bet be fa. Anti immunity mo amayemre ni nyina mo mpebi na afi mo nom. Woni so bro na anti kakra bi ano abra immunity ba supplement no ana benye bi na afi abo so what nipa dua no ema ahoden so nkofofro krati me ba yo ɔbaa wafa yɛfunu akra no wɔ yɛfunu no ma na wonim fie dumienu a wontimi ɛnum yɛduro bi 0535112813 na wɔpɛ bia ne da so wɔ herbal clinic doctor ɔda owusu na daroma doctor sɛ menka nkyerɛ sɛ w'ani no bra na ɔnyɛ ho adwuma mfama adeɛ bi a ɛyɛ problem ɛfa ani ho no wɔse bra no ɔmfa bibiduro ɛma no afei ɔnsa yareɛ deɛ wɔm ɛne sɛ ɔyareɛ no yɛ stroke ana afei prostate no nsɛm no ɛno nso wode ba a ɔbɛdan na ɔbɛtumi aboa ɔtena se ɛwɔ takrade port quarters ben archbishop porter girls ana afei wodu kwada so estate park nso a ɛne da so wɔ hɔ ɛba clinic ɛhɔ a yɛdi adwuma alagye walako junction so ɛwɔ tabora nkran 0559901234 na wo ne adi nkɔmmɔ tabea nnuro no ɛwɔ adwama so takum no wobɛpɛ bi adi abusti wɔ lebido no ɛma watenka ɛkɔ soro ana afei capsules no ɛsisi yare aduru ɛba mesra wɔnom ato ntimi ne di malaria akyewa anya bi a ɛbɛboa no yɛ ɛba mesra no 0243 686861 nafi wadi enkomo 3p garlic mixture garlic mo ahoden ane atwe ne yede 3p garlic mixture 3p high blood pressure sugar level was right kese obeso sote ana sembi a onsa ene o night IoT treat stroke ana echiwa onya 3p ni bia eno ebetimi aboa dre baby aton adro Ghana hafa na bia benya bia to 0248928824 na wadi enkomo ruta enro no da so adwaman so ruta mixture no na make come for the general body pains one and ya ana face malaria chewa wadru and no ruta mixture no ana make was some ruta live and so eboa na de and say a supportive system nankasa emma moja no die free sane oni peduanum kama and we ruta live no de no na fe ruta tonic so typhoid fever no so lebe quadre ya tombi oba bia ya to adro bia o yo ba wa fe funu ma kra no fa na say what in fie unim fie dumienu kwa unum bienye 0244485632 nafi wadi nkoba nafi bibia so aye kama yerum na yemfa local news ne kakra emra nafi yento so emfi wono the Black Stars of Ghana do baby na Professor Dennis Odoy na yentene come say ye collapse na Odoy so de him say oba in Ghana for Gini deep and more no na e was free pa na Royal Antiobo and na onua edini juma age of 37 and a ball no or da so ball and dimu Emmanuel Maye kama na after say the contract ebe wie a omo ending the contract no summer no last a year summer year and also the twem na fi club bi ene wanua and so boy say do Dutch Eredivisie side lack brother and he see ono and so enani achira okore say obetimi no mawie season no man for so zedie say Black Stars of Ghana say obaba BMD agese onya team into ohwe na afinu man so aye kama e dia man no e kakre free ode ba na ye room na ye to so sports ministry no report aye ban say omo aye appointment a womo aye legend aye friend say abedi ayupele say legend do be na man for che say Ghana ye ball no ye di ne be room na ono so ni nyansa ne nim dia wanya oball no timi edebe boanti ministerial advisory board no womo enso edina ka ho awore say ni obetimi aboa na our advise government no important in sports policies obetimi di aboa na for sports development no enu emetimi akwanti wey a good news edema abedi aju pele legend and ye de no nsam no evem eba enra ana any sports ministry and say the Ghana Football Association womo ekoye the insurance policy and the Ghanaian referees omo yen league no na utimi say almost say Ghanaian referees no mo na fi na say enu ama ekoso be ko referee venu bi ni akobo no na referee no be ko no na be ko hospital akosa no yare ene the county 280 referees ni nyina no from GPL and afi Division 1 league and Women's Premier League ni nyina no omo insure mo kama na bibia so kama yebetie the FA president was say o share bo na wadi ne bo hye eso yentie kakra oretuda.
Gather here today in fulfillment of a solemn pledge I made to our referees during the 31st Ordinary Session of Congress held at the Ghanaman Soccer Center of Excellence in Pram Pram on the 12th of August 2025. On that special day, I assured you all that your football association, under my humble leadership, will take bold but deliberate steps to elevate referee welfare, strengthen officiating standards, and provide the necessary protection and motivation for the men and women who uphold the integrity of our game.
To Janice, Chere now Chichi, when I omabo modern say insurance no echo edi ama referees or more Ghana league said a beya will be proud a bit me abuana fi ono so dia hwe no na referee Daniel Aye enra no wase na Daniel Aye de kakra to do so on 2008 to pride na ekakitu abi nko ja referee no credit because na ono ana ehwe no ho ono ana ekoye rehab ni ade ne bo no so na edi ntiwe na referee no FA for dia ba o de bo referee no ebe bo yi pa Daniel Aye e de kakra etuda.
I had a fracture in my right tibia during training as a referee. So during this time, the treatment, the rehabs, they were very expensive. But I was doing this courtesy of my dad and other family members. And I was thinking, why this time RAG or our referee association did not have any policy to take care of us? Because honestly, I nearly quit referee because of this, because it was too much. I remember I had to tie one of my legs to run a fitness test to pass. Even the bone was not fully healed, but I did this. I don't know how.
Referee Daniel Aye had a kakadi to an some the doors and ready to fama na China Babe Twaso na Nami Adum outstanding games and your one outstanding game and there Wednesday into Basaka Oli Stars so many Asante Kodoko a game no and so Baso and 3 p.m. and as our match in Baso Basaka Oli Stars a day before a game and no more our coming new coach Johnson Smith say the Omra na only the team no and Famo Muna Finuama and so enye kama nene omo say fee no more general 100 cities 50 cities and afi 20 cities and omo AJL gate into your support and afi obeso support here now abetechu na bibia nso aye kama nyame aduma round of 64 we MTN FA Cup Interlights and Accra Lions say about dreams and Kofredia Simplify game omo Boko United and Port City and afi Home Stars so many Golden Warriors and so ball and we game say Bas FC Ashanti Gold FC Ash Gold 04 omene Benab and so game ne Bas Nations near Bonnie 11 Wise and Summer test at the boarding afi media for any second Rose Park and so Bobo Gasoka Masters Omani Apply FC and at the boarding to say and a Yama and so ACT don't sem at the Montuay a matches and no bus home common and a day Emma and a DNS Bibian so at the Demna Krobia Kumasia Santiago players no Peter Amidu Aqua a blow and afi Samba report and says Womo every free team no mark was said in some bus Omo contract renewal on sem no team no any agents no Oshia Edin Komo players the agents no any team na din komo na the woman says won be kokra na won be renew said be ya kotoko enye se free agent bia abra kotoko nya hwe enso emfiri mu no e de ba ne mum Kamara enso ne anso de emze meeting no almost still agent no no nhai ending komo ene ye kakre free o de ba na fancy medicine no Libya for no Ali Benghazi abranti friend say Albert Amwa nisika no almost say still na outstanding transfer fee no omunya ntuai tiko ko factory mu say omu fasika no emrantisa omu take legal action etia omu go what player na ezo enough for my omu nyansa ne ade ndimi to player bi do a scan be ba no na bibi o ntie no action akotoko enso we say omu edebe rem na omu sika etimi aba fancy
okay that's it amwade no se no se mse biaka mu amule sa no mbe o nchedu bia no atwe na FIFA this FIFA atwero mansa asa mo de aka ba are say na eyi achewa na kuzukuku achewa kuzukuku ache no ze awo ni onye
bisa kapa yi ba to hunu ntime bisa na chiro na mepe Peter ene Ablona Samba and Henry so move outside Kotokono. Ya kwem say boys be kwa na yawo. And the local no, it happens to be the only story I'm so much interested. First of all, Kotoko fans, me baby am gina no. And the man who about how you run your clubs no. Yeah no here sika san with me run clubs no. But in as much as I hear sika be run your clubs no. It happens to every top club who we are CCA. Yeah, keke yeah, kabasa ho chiri sika se mu we all know, but yeah, for 3 years or so, Kotoko fans, enya the unfinished part of Peter Midu. Eka kiti. Now the boy is close to developing to a matured player. A level mo. Nanka Kotoko benya 2-3 years be free Peter Midu hono. Now, after fans that suffer from the growth as a forward nina chia fe omubenya the better part of the career no. It's a soko. Abasa is sad. Nanrania discuss one conversation be said players to be brave from Division 2, Division 1 no. Yeah, no more drew club in one time they do. Make it Peter Free Club by Park Academy. So from at that time Peter Free Park Ebano. Second na Park themselves some way established our bonum. Okay. Nanka Peter will develop here do a status of Krobia a player. But I gave him that time because okay Matthew Kujo from Lagos City Ebolo Kotoko. And he was so super. Kakra Krabia no nyabo bia. Every time he came from the bench or delivered the mark coach Masokonedu. So yeah, and yet young players in any team survive work to big clause, but Peter Bay, you know, kakra he's going. But yo, baby Babadri or Babadu at time Akotobenya will be free about Tebeka for a solid partnership in the final 10. But here is the discussion. Peter Beko. From last year, no Komano Peter Beko. Now look at something in the final 10. I bet I'm one equi, Kwampoku, next season, Menyasho so Baba Kotoko. Obia Washa Kwampoku returned from injury, so no attest to Asma making. Say he hasn't been himself. Now Obasa Obe supporter Abetamwa in the final 10 for Kotoko. And no Abetamwa no Yatona Manakui. Kwampoku also follow suit. Abasa who will be a standing member in the final 10 for Kotoko. And Commander Yedi Netrasa and I come ya pa or support club no ya. And Bella superstar ko so Mudasiru ko. Unya quantity player be for some time now no so Babe lead club no yaw. Na pressure dinachisa and the club doesn't possess that financial muscle so they be keep player no. Abasa ya na hajune. Ye samba na wokan so no so be cool. Joseph Ablobako, you can't say no, obajin say yedi agro, yaw obeko ampa. Enti no ye be wi season we no koto besa akwa start and Kamara will also leave. What will be the spine of the team? Last season no, nipa no ye key member, ye kasa premium a oni ho no mo a wo kan enye yi. Enti manu and an injury in floor. Oh, where's Justice Blay? On also so it in fin hono abeye all new players all together. Hilary, could you set? Akaba ko fin. O me ensa nyina ya akoye afofrofo. Emmanuel Entry last season we saw him but I feel Emmanuel Entry. So a company said yaw, ade e friend say dominance no kotoko fans they are you fruit more. Because before you dominate where you built from the basis of last year. Then so the last year basis in the beer no scrapping in the ensuing season, you know, you can pinpoint. Opa check it. A Valorant than lad Kwame Ban keeper sene bana the piano Bessie Benjamin Frederick Asari. Yes, scrap it back on the from a shop quickly. You can pinpoint say Frederick Asari or more uncle from Abituno enche. Or you be do time one as so say obey starter confidence in one monano. Now who say be could be the chia o piano. It's on Kamara and Aziz. Sana di na kwakoyo. O meton Kamara na Aziz ababesho. Yeah, I heard you know. Say a club will be to say up and coming Bechem United ye can be go stars on ye can and can we have you keep it so. But a club like Kotoko, chop and change the doors sana. How? They continue to survive with their status historically. But momentarily, club on any basis be Peter Midu. And come and catch us a big Pia Kotoko be biano, as say still to Peter Midu. Omo ye captains and one, omo ye 5 for Peter Wombi. Players are more salaries, I was from one more. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As a Peter 6 will be, or 7 hobby. You check pictures, you photography, billboard, crabia games in the badness game. I'm gonna have some projected game. No, boys from the billboard, no, so many billboard. Peter Shimbi, he has to feel part of the club. No, say projecting. oniba bia ko sika bia obepe bia no de man yaw 5-6 years for krobia sese kotoko na tetema eton kotoko na teteton ani yentumi nko ba bia pese ekono
ni nyina iska
yaw yentumi nko ba bia ekono yentumi unfortunately yentumi it's so pathetic yentumi me case me we say that dey actual ebia season we nkwa we na ebe wura pre-season mo ebe ko the next season no e chiro 4 na ase 5 ni obia betime lose obia betime aba be ho na zekara fu se ni nanu ya no bai de se samba kwa no aba be ho na koto akopɛ foforo aba betene chiro ho ewie season na naza ka chiro ko me so pese be meko na foforo aba be shim where's consistency. Enti Peter the end me matena baba yara ma hwe Peter raw talent. What the bonny man now who ne busa won from a park to Kotoko. He said distance near short. But in print ye bi e no baba show no starting no mo share jersey no. Ojebo aho no kwose no. Ojebo no. Now ohunu nyansa in the final third. Na dwumu bie in the final third. Omri bi bia go stars okwanwa on the blind side. E no kofa for a player to be moving on a blind side, it means who answer. And even an Marcus Rashford or box no baby when in and offer. Instinctively, he's become somebody or box who say purpose being teen and make a box room. And yet the first old pyramid of our ball. Fuma.
Team on players. Yeah, that is the reality. Say opeso or run a club ni Emma esu banfa so gina ye pay economy ni system na because Kodoko baby gina say Kodoko ntimi ni CAF Champions League. Oh, cannot create down for men say down for. Baby Kodoko gina say
any target so
no, even if it is a target now bit maintain corner yaw. Me no tia say Kodoko bet me twa obi ka $15,000 a month.
Oh, o bet me bate bia ahode ni o say
$10,000 no bet me atwa. So, for Peter Mido, I don't know his salary, but I'm speaking to how Kotoko can be able to maintain
from cities there
because Kotoko is not competing against in terms of the transfer market. Mike, me the basis here. Kotoko is not competing against Ghanaian teams. Kotoko competing against teams maybe on Befa, Abet Amwano, Atrianica in terms of transfer market. No, because one now TT player new. These are the same things that will come for these players. Oba Obama salary a month, between $10,000 a month. Koroko between $10,000 a month. Consistently was a scam. And Yabaku, Ebia miensa. Because you Kamara or Samba, Meboa, and as our Donzu, 3 foreign players.
Dear Joe, $10,000 a month.
Yeah, what must say. So sometimes clubs and I told you say a team must so kakra new. Say that is how it is. Situation is and you find yourself in. Mike, who bet me I can.
$3,000 or $4,000 a month.
My question, Mike,
so why would you sell him to a Libyan club?
My question,
who will not even pay you the full money? Abekamo and $10,000 for Libya. Mike, on Jemese, Abekamo on $10,000. What GIA $5,000?
For Kotoko to be paying Abekamo $3,000, $4,000. One, we speak about sustainability. Club no operations, scarce and a bem. Owner are ready to commit it. There are several factors we can talk about when it comes to players such amount of money. Yeah, you buy dream because your clubs need to make your clubs need to make but in reality, you be come na clubs and kasa sa betena be na first can away. And there is can ba be there. For I'm not speaking to that, say, and we I'm speaking to a different thing about player salary. The total amount of money Kotoko is taking from them. No, I'm speaking to two different issues altogether.
Make he say, okay, no problem. Sikana, we ain't doing your salary.
And Overton,
Sikano.
For now, in the Obey.
For now,
couple $1,000 now, and $1,000 tomorrow.
Me, you need a striker to fancy for you in the league.
masa
waji usuro but don't know on
so make us for now when you lessons from that sales now so the next step will be
first time I got a experience with it. What's in the Nipana Bano, you're desperate. That is why you demand your money.
Of course.
Oh yeah, for that one. So on your play and
buy your pen and your break. Oh, Fatos when you uncle, fast track everything.
And now they are so we shoot ourselves in the foot. Omo yana artist for the bush shows and Nipa Babrino. Nipa Babrino. Yana underground for now don't be perform on the chase and Nipa Bama oh the Cabayo.
Oh yes, and
now what superstars why will never fill a stadium mama.
I know your question.
It's when we shoot us
for same support.
Yet to 2 million shoot to the acquire same
I understand every argument Akumiakana we need to raise money to do this but a hand go hand come situation. Hand go hand come. Say Libya club meba Libya club say ope albetabwa. You need to know Sanko for no musu. Excuse me but I'm not being discriminatory. Omuto play omuntia
free to sell any cloth
omuto play omuntia and to also player na money for hand
on a day so na omo play as at the day na kotoko ball mu game
omo ball against a what I understand you need to raise money to sell anyway again but as a football club professor running sustainable business Jessica no ne enkoye ni
bize me tie me toma de no
mo nipa be fa player you soon heavy e wo Libya now
I make out che answer me say ma use no week na me try next month
capo chain sa na also asumdie na show na na tell de
abusia FSC na yeto easy brother le mo ko na je wa se
omo ha mi omo ha ba omo ha ba
asamba
ase nyame ko na me ha o
oh yeah onum so kam
so your brother
omo ko ha easy boko there